smell like a bitch. You're so smart, hide your heart, singing some peace of mind. You're so right in your eyes, to press your point. I won't let myself become just like you. Pointing fingers, it's all you ever do. This time, this one's for you. This one's for you. The perfect way, you no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE PLE recaps. I'm your host, the Secret Boss Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, formerly the Glam Islam, now the EST of AfterMat, Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hello. Monday. You know what day it is? Is the I guess you can call it the recaps of all recaps since we're doing Mania.
Yeah, it is our season finale, our season 8 finale, and just around the corner will be the AfterMat Awards, but we can't have our end of the year celebration without having one of our biggest, supporters, and also the man with the worst takes in the business, the Doink the Clown AfterMat, the Firefox himself. What's going on, Will? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Last time I was here was at the Royal Rumble, and I'm glad to be back once again for Wrestlemania.
Yeah, as you know, Will is a big Royal Rumble specialist. He has like every single fact. One day I think we should have like a trivia, like what do you call it? like an AfterMat special besides the awards. Have him versus Joe on like the fact checking, and like, each of us will say like a statement, and you got to say if it's true or false, if the fact is correct or not, and if it's incorrect for a bonus point, you have to say what's wrong about that fact. So that'd be kind of
what, like Hollywood Squares?
I don't know. I'm not 89 years old, so I don't know what Hollywood Squares is. But today, like I said, it is our.
The show is older than me.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. So today it's like I said, our season 8 finale. We'll be talking about WrestleMania 41. But before we get to that, if you haven't seen it already, if you look at our social media cards on the bottom, we have 2 new avatars, beautifully drawn by MeiBDoodlin. Her link is in the bio and her DeviantArt, so please check that out. She did a great job of portraying me as the new secret boss and Delisha as the EST. And I will be posting it up on Twitter. But thank you so much, MeiBDoodlin, for drawing that. I'll be showing the picture of it on Twitter after the show's over, or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm still calling it Twitter for some reason. But I will also have the link for her art there as well. But before we get started, we like to have this as our season finale, even though it's like only March or April, depending on when, it used to be in March, WrestleMania, but now it's in April. But it's kind of weird that it's like our season finale is like kind of earlier in the year, but we kind of have it as like WrestleMania being like the end of or culmination of most of the storylines that happen throughout the year for the wrestling year. So that's why this is our season finale. And then we start off, we have our award show next week where we give out our awards for the wrestling year. And then we start a whole new season because after WrestleMania, everything's kind of like a fresh new start. We see new call-ups from NXT. We see new rivalries. Some may carry over once in a while for Backlash, which usually happens. But we've been doing this for a while, and I think it works out pretty well for us. But we're gonna start out with Will. What'd you think going into WrestleMania? What'd you think of the card, and were you excited for it? Was there one night you're more particularly excited about than the other night, or would you see it both excitement for both?
I saw a bit of excitement for both nights for certain matches. For night two, I was excited for more the night two matches than the night one matches. But we'll get to when we get to our finishers. I'll tell you how I feel about how both nights went. But there was some unexpected stuff that happened that or feelings that I had after both nights were done.
What about you, Delisha? How'd you feel about going into WrestleMania? Were you like, I know you always talk about story. Did it live up to your expectations with the stories and stuff like that?
Some did, some didn't. I think we talked about it before. Like the build up for this Mania wasn't that great, but if you just looked at the matches that were on the card, you knew you should have been in for a treat of things being good to great, just based on the talent that was being involved. Did that pan out? We'll have to talk about it to find out. But yeah, but going in, like Will, I think I was more excited for night two than night one. But I think overall, also because it's still Mania, I always mostly have a good time during Mania because of it just being Mania, I guess. But yeah, overall, I feel like I had fun.
Yeah, for me, I thought like I wasn't really excited for any of the matches, to be honest. I remember when we were divvying up the matches. I only did it for like people I like. I chose like the people I like for the matches. I wasn't really interested in any of the storylines or anything like that. So I wasn't. I feel like WrestleMania kind of like I was like, oh, good thing it wasn't like here because like I feel like kind of I don't know like conflicted on whether or not I would want to go or not because I wasn't really looking forward to this WrestleMania. After last year's WrestleMania, like it being like so big and having that Avengers ending, that was pretty good for the people who are Cody fans, but uh, it was just a really good spectacle. Like you'd expect to see that for like WrestleMania, but we didn't really get that in this time around. Like you didn't have as many entrances, like cool entrances. There were very little tweaks to the entrances, yes, but we didn't have like the grand entrance that we normally see here and there. I'll get to who I thought had the best entrance of the night. There's two actually, one on each night, but one I thought was very well done. The other one was very, it was like very. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I'll think of the word when I get to it. But with that started, there was one pre-show match, so we'll talk about the pre-show match first. The pre-show match was for the World Heavyweight Championship, featuring pre-show Jey Uso and championship and World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. So I think who had this match, Delisha?
Yes, and unfortunately, I am not on my laptop, which I normally am, which I have like to bring up like my notes app right next to it. I cannot do that, and so just bear with me because remember this is from night one, and there was still a lot of matches to go through. But okay, honestly, we can make this short because honestly, if you've seen the last two of their matches, they did a lot of the same thing. Um, Gunter, Gunter came. Actually, he at first I thought he would have a grand interest if we're talking about interests. I thought he would also with him being the incoming champion, like world champion. But I think for Gunther's sake also because Gunther is like an old school. They call him the ring general for a reason. Where he says the match secret. He doesn't care about the spectacle of interests. So him not having a what am I trying to say here? I guess making a big deal with entrance. I think this is the one time of the weekend that I think it was appropriate because of Gunther's character. And Jay came through the crowd as usual. It was because it's the stadium. It took him a good while to get down to the ring. I did like his gear though, and the royal blue and gold. Just a little gear talk for a second. But okay, back to the match. We did have Gunther doing a lot of the offense as he actually tends to do in his matches that are not against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, where he will dominate most of the match with his striker and wrestling technical ability. And it really was Jay coming from defense position, trying to um excuse me trying to get an offense in order to try to defeat the Goliath known as Gunther. I think they came out straight from the gate trying to do their like finishing moves, with Gunther doing like power slams, and I'm pretty sure Jay did like 3 super kicks in a row. but um but eventually they kept kicking out of the moves that they're called finishers, but they weren't finishing the job. And I do believe that Gunther did try to get Jay into a sleeper like he did his brother, maybe once or twice, to where Jay was able to like either not sneak out, but twist himself to get out to the ring or things like that. Um, and the only thing else I literally can remember is the finish where Jay did the patented super kick, and then I thought he was gonna go for, or either he did, or I thought he was gonna go for the Usos slam, I think they call it, which is like did it 3 times. Oh, okay.
He did 3 in 3 different corners.
Thank you, thank you. And then I thought he was gonna do it again to make it like the 4-peat, but he put Gunther in Gunther's sleeper hold move that he does, and very quickly Gunther tapped out, which was I knew Jay was going to win. I just didn't think it would be that way. But someone on Twitter said Gunther tends to do that a lot when he gets put in a sleeper hold. He'll tap out quickly. I cannot confirm that because I haven't looked at the rest of the matches, and of course they didn't give any proof of that. But I did find that interesting if that is true. I don't understand why they would have him tap out, especially the way they have built up Gunther to be this like indomitable force. And like Jay isn't like a power moves uh superstar. He is the quick-witted, like I'll never quit type of style. So I didn't mind that that Gunther lost in a submission maneuver. I thought he would just like went to sleep because it is called a sleeper hold. And so that's what I thought he would have done. But so that one I was just kind of okay. But I already went into this match knowing Jay was gonna win, so I was just like, all right, whatever. Let's see what happens. I know a lot of people are really down on Jay, that he doesn't, he's not a good wrestler and things like that. But one thing we have to remember that this is World Wrestling Entertainment, and like it or not, the dude has charisma. He's got the crowd on his side. So what do you do as a business? You put the strap on him and see if he can sink or float. So that's what I am seeing that he would do in the next couple of weeks. If see how he handles being the top guy. I know Kyle makes fun of it, but it's funny that he won the Royal Rumble to be the main event of WrestleMania, and he opened up the show. So that was, I don't know, that's any indicator of what we're getting these next couple or however long he'll hold it. I don't think he's gonna hold it long, in my opinion. A couple of months. I mean, he might lose it tonight. I don't know, but I don't foresee him holding it for a long reign. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt and see how he is booked and how he carries himself being at the top of the card, if that makes sense to you guys. But what about you, Will? Did you enjoy the match? Do you agree with him winning? And with him winning, do you think he will hold the title long?
I agree with Jay. I agree with Jey Uso winning the match. Now, Jey Uso is not the first Royal Rumble winner to open WrestleMania. It happened to Alberto Del Rio. It happened to Sheamus, just to name two off the top of my head that I can think of. So that's not a first. So that's not a solely Jey Uso thing, in my opinion. I am pissed that Gunther's tapped out. I would have preferred Jey Uso did the splashes off the 3 of the 4 corners. I would have preferred him do it off the 4th corner and then get the pin off the 4th splash. Make this splash look devastating, going from all 4 of the corners. Because having Gunther tap out so quickly to a sleeper hold that he keeps on everyone that he puts it in until they pass out. No one taps out to Gunther's submission hold. Everyone passes out to it when he wins with it. So having Gunther tap out so quickly to it makes him look so weak, and I hate that because Gunther is one of my favorite power wrestlers in the game today, and he's been one of the most dominant forces since he's been on not only the main roster but NXT. Like they always promoted, he's held a title for 80% of his career in WWE. He's I was just pissed with how weak the finish made him look. Look, I'm happy that Jay won. I'm not happy with how the finish went.
For me, I agree with Will where I don't like how he tapped out. especially so fast. It was like the second it was put on, he tapped out, which is stupid. He should at least got choked out. But I agree with Will also that it should have been like 4 splashes, then a pin. He shouldn't have lost in the first place because all Jay has going for him is much like Cody. All they have is an entrance, and people get behind their entrance. And that's about it. Like, neither of them are really good on the mic, and at least Cody can wrestle. Jay can't even wrestle. Like, it's just like 17 super kicks and then a splash. That's about it. So, and then like a suicide dive here and there. But like, other than that, he's got nothing. And the fact that he beat Gunther, like, and Gunther tapped, which is bad. But now, are they gonna have a rematch at Backlash? Most likely, and Gunther's gonna be like, hey, you got lucky. That's, how is he gonna beat Gunther twice? Like, Gunther's like rarely lost. I don't think he's ever lost anybody twice. Maybe Ilya Dragunov back in NXT or something, but I don't think he's lost to anybody twice cleanly. Even that, like, so I can't see Jay beating him again storyline wise. He's gonna need help from like Jimmy Uso or Hikuleo or somebody. I don't know who it's gonna be, but he's gonna need help from somebody. And I don't think Gunther should lose to him twice. That's all. Maybe Sami Zayn can help him or something. I don't know. But like, I think it's just stupid that like Gunther lost tapping within like a few seconds of the hold being put on. That's not even a move you tap out unless he didn't have a choke. He didn't have a choke. He had a sleeper hold. If he had a choke, I can understand tapping, but he had a sleeper hold. So I don't know. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I don't know. So already WrestleMania started out poorly for me, and it didn't even start out yet since it was just a pre-show. Any other?
Jay is, I think, the 5th person I could think of off the top of my head that had beaten Gunther since Gunther had been in WWE, whether it's NXT or WWE. The only one I could think of is, Jey Uso now after WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes, Crown Jewel, Sami Zayn, WrestleMania last year, Braun Breaker when he was defending the NXT Championship against Gunther, and Ilya Dragunov when Dragunov took the NXT UK title off of Gunther. I think those are the only 5 superstars that have ever pinned Gunther, or in this case, Jey Uso, make Gunther tap out.
Right.
Out.
And no one did it twice, right? Except for Ilya Dragunov. I
think Dragunov is the only one that done it twice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if Braun done it twice, but I think I don't think Breaker did it twice, but maybe Dragunov.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, that just shows you how much of a power character that Gunther is, and how stupid it was to have him tap out so quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Anything else, Delisha, or should we move on to the next match?
Oh no, yeah, we can go to the next match.
All right, the next match was for the, what are these called? The World Tag Team titles or the WWE Tag Team titles? I don't even know. World Tag Team titles, right?
World Tag titles.
Yeah, World Tag titles. Featuring the World Tag Team champions, the War Raiders, Ivar and Eric, against, are they still called the New Day? I have no idea. The New Day, right?
I think we think
Yes, so the
New Day.
Yeah, the New Day, I think they're called. Kofi and Xavier Woods. And I forgot who's covering this match.
I believe that is me as well.
Okay.
As I was trying to see if I can bring up my notes on my iPad, but it will not load. Okay. Only because I can't give a proper recap because I don't remember the match besides the ending. I do remember thinking it was a really good match because these were 2 good teams.
Oh wait, sorry, Delisha. I gotta give a few shout outs in the chat. I think we have.
Oh yeah, sure.
We have Welcome Guitar Company. Thank you for joining us. Curly Chaos. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, that's what we have. Thank you. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Delisha. Thank you for joining us.
It's not like I was saying anything super important. But no, yeah, I was like, I feel really bad because I don't remember a lot of like the nitty details on account of, like I said, there's a lot of wrestling this weekend going on. There was like 3 main shows over the weekend. But we did see, like I said, it was a New Day versus the incoming champions of War Raiders. I almost said Viking Raiders, but we haven't called them that in a couple of months. But yeah, I would say the New Day came out. I don't know what was their inspired. It was game related, wasn't it?
It was wasn't it Fatal Fury? Oh
Maybe.
no, it was Clash of Clans. It was Clash of Clans because they were I can't remember them, but I remember them making on commentary jokes about, the New Day didn't get the video game outfits and they got the up down channel. Such disrespect.
Yeah, because Yeah, I knew the War Raiders came out with the Clash of Clans gear that didn't look really good. It looked like they got it from the now bankrupt Party City. But the New Day's gear did look good, and they had like a three-headed unicorn on the back with one like dying off, which was a representative of like Big E. So like they really have like kicked it in gear with being heels and things like that. Well, New Day always brings the gear game coming into almost any match they do, but especially when it's like on the big stage, like Mania. But yeah, I do apologize, guys, because I don't have my notes up that I usually take during matches to get the like the finer details of things. I don't even remember if there was a big spot during this match. Also, it didn't help that the crowd was kind of meh in this match as well, because this was also another match that did not have a lot of build up. Besides, the New Day just wanted to go after the tag team titles, which I guess does make sense in and of itself because the New Day is one of the most decorated tag teams, and I guess now you could say in WWE history. So them wanting to go for another title just makes sense. But I think this like was announced 2 weeks ago, so there wasn't, or even maybe even been last week. So there wasn't even time to build up. They did try to take out Ivar, I believe. I think it was him. They tried to take him out because I think he's the one who has a neck injury. So they tried to do that to him prior to this match, which I guess you could say stoked another solar fire under the War Raiders um to want to have that match. But again, the match was pretty okay. It wasn't what you would call like a Mania worthy match. I do remember that feeling a bit not even overwhelmed or underwhelmed, just whelmed with the match. Just being fine. The New Day did get the pin with, I do not know the name of their tag team move anymore. But they did get the win to win their 13th title, 10th title. Tag team titles, that is not.
No, it's 12. It's 12.
They're 12. Okay. Yeah. I don't know where this puts them in the most tag team belts just WWE. They got to be up
Most
there
right
though.
now.
They're number
right
12.
now.
Oh, they have the
Number
most
one
wins
right now.
Oh well,
They have the most title reigns
there
as
you
a
go.
team.
There you go. Which I mean, like I said, they are one of the greatest tag teams in the business, working and past and present. If in my opinion. But like I already said, the match itself, obviously, because I can't even recap it well, did not stand out. If this happened on Raw, or like the main event of Raw, it would have been fine there. I am clapping for the New Day because I love them, even in their heel persona, which they didn't really get to delve into this type of heel being with the heat that they're getting. Because if people don't recall, the New Day started out as a heel team, but people loved their move so much that they became a face, and then they've been a face like the last 8, maybe even 10 years. So for them to try to reinvent themselves and bring something new to the table, I do like that. Because also the tag team scene once again it's falling into staleness. So maybe this will breathe some new life. We'll see, hopefully. So besides that, that's all I can say about the match. I thought it was fine. I agree with the New Day winning because obviously War Raiders they weren't meeting the needle. I don't know what happened to them. They were really great. I mean, they still are great. Don't get me wrong, but the way they've been booked has been great. But overall, Cal, did you enjoy the match? Do you agree with New Day winning? And do you like their heel run that they've been on so far?
No, no, and no. I mean, I never liked the New Day. Honestly, I only like Kofi Kingston. I've never liked the New Day, even with Big E. I hate Xavier Woods. Um, so I don't like them as heels either. Like, contrary to belief, everyone thinks I only like heels, but like, no, I don't like them as heels either. I actually like the War Raiders better because they're actually a very good team. They're actually like a tag team. I guess New Day is sort of too like a tag team as well. Of like the tag teams in WWE, these two are like probably I mean, besides Motor Machine Guns who are new, like rather new to WWE, but like they're like the epitome of a tag team, not like singles wrestlers put together. But I really like the War Raiders a lot, and I like them having the championship. It was nice. And Raj and Shiv are here watching it. The Road Dog Raj, as you guys know. He was really surprised, and even Shiv was very surprised at how athletic its Ivar was, right? Like he does like moonsaults and cartwheels and back handsprings and all that kind of stuff. So I love seeing him wrestle. I love them as a tag team wrestling. New Day, I mean, they don't need it, right? I guess they want to put the belts on them so that they get more attention to them, and because they're liking the heat that they're getting now. They can't even talk on the mic anymore because they get booed. So I guess that's mostly why they're putting the championship on them, to have a new tag team come in and maybe take it away. It might be somebody that's called up from NXT. Like maybe Fraxium comes up, and that'll be a good match to see. Fraxium versus the New Day. Maybe that's why Fraxium lost the NXT Tag Team Championships. So I think that might be the next big feud for New Day against Fraxium. But yeah, I'd want to see that, or having Penta and Phoenix get together and have them move over to Raw and have that the Lucha Brothers against New Day as well. Either any of those two matches or feuds is what I want to see, because I think they need like two athletic teams like that to go against each other, and that could carry for next until SummerSlam, and then have a 3-way dance at SummerSlam, or maybe even a 4-way dance and have it as a ladder match, like shades of like Team Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys, kind of like that kind of match at SummerSlam with those three tag teams, aforementioned tag teams I mentioned. So that's what I see. What about you, Will?
I thought this match didn't need to be on the WrestleMania card. We just saw this match for the tag titles 2 weeks ago on Raw, and because Woods brought in the chair and ultimately led to a DQ, it's why I got put on Mania. I honestly would have rather gotten the WWE Tag Team Championship match that we're getting on SmackDown this Friday, which is a triple threat TLC tag match between DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and Street Profits. Been on this night one of Mania, and then this been on the Raw after Mania, because I feel like that triple threat TLC ladder match would have put butts in seats on WrestleMania because during the War Raiders entrance, as they did a drone shot, you could literally see people leaving their seats to go get drinks or go to the bathroom. People were treating this match as a bathroom break for the crowd. And it was a good match. It was a good standard tag team match. And I love the New Day's heel work. I certainly love booing them right now, but I do respect their work that they're currently doing. I was hoping, since they were on WrestleMania, that this was going to be a big like Big E return somehow. How and Big E getting involved in it, but I was a little disappointed on that. I was like, oh, so this is because I was in a voice chat with a friend watching night one, and we were all discussing that. I was like, oh, we were all like, oh, well, Big E's gonna come out. Watch. We were all wrong on that.
Yeah, for me, I didn't know that they're having that match on SmackDown, so they probably heard me just say that and they booked it just now. So um, we can have that again on SummerSlam. It's still a whiles away, so we should be okay. Unless they do it like at Survivor Series or SummerSlam, where they start unifying the championships again, because that'd be stupid. I hate when they do that because they always start making new ones again anyway. Especially because they just made these belts, so I don't know. But let's go on to the next match, which was uh uh Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I guess it was just a grudge match, and Felicia, I'm guessing you picked this one too, didn't you?
Oh no, this is me.
Oh wow, you picked this, or you're stuck with it?
No, this was the second match I chose.
What? Will was drunk. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
What? I wasn't drunk. Naomi made the entrance first. She came out with new entrance theme, neutrons and everything. They had her caution theme. Her music was not as good as the last one. It felt like a generic Def Rebel music. I was like, oh well, if I'm not seeing Naomi's name on the Tron, I wouldn't recognize who this was. So it's another one of those entrance music curses. But I think the new Tron looks well to go with her caution theme. I thought her entrance with the like break through the caution barrier was good, good. But she made her entrance, and it cuts to a weather report from some guy outside the arena saying that the weather was nice, and then that the storm is starting to come, and then saying everyone needs to get inside. And then Jade made her entrance. Match begins with Jay getting some early offense, and I'm going based off the notes that I took because I got my notes on a notebook next to me, not on like on an iPad or anything. Sorry, Delisha, I had to take a shot. But it was once the match led outside the ring that that Jade would send Naomi into the barricade hard, like Naomi bounced off the barricade, hard in my opinion. But Naomi gets thrown back in the ring and immediately rolls back out, and that's when Naomi takes advantage of Jade going back in and coming back out to get Naomi. And as Jade coming back out to get Naomi, Naomi grabs her and hits like an X Factor onto the floor, and follows it up by smacking Jade's head into the steel steps. And then after hitting Jade's head off the steps, Naomi would proceed to do a blockbuster off the stairs to the floor. Naomi continues to build the momentum by getting Jade back in the ring and hitting a series of moves. But it's when Naomi gets to the top rope, and I still remember this spot right now. Now, crystal clear as day. Naomi's getting ready to do another blockbuster from the top rope. As Naomi goes for the blockbuster, Jade catches her mid-air in vertical suplex position and counters that blockbuster into a jackhammer so cleanly that my jaw dropped when I saw that. I don't remember seeing something from Jade in AEW because I didn't watch AEW much or any of her matches in WWE. But I thought it was a tremendous spot. But the momentum, Jade doesn't hold the momentum for long because Naomi gets the momentum back into her favor because Jade makes a mistake of taking her time going up to the top rope or stand on the middle rope and go to the top to hit something. So Naomi gets up, kicks her in the head, and then goes up to the top. She goes to do this. It's like the wheelbarrow thing. I thought Jade was gonna counter it and pick her up and do like a super jaded, but then that was countered into a bulldog off the middle rope from Naomi to Jade, and then Naomi immediately positions Jade and does a split legged moveset. And at this moment, I'm like, wow, they're actually gonna give Naomi the win at WrestleMania and have Jade lose her first one-on-one WrestleMania match here. But Jade gets a shoulder up for a close count after two. So momentum continues to go on back and forth with the fighting, and they keep countering one another moves until Jade has Naomi up in like an electric chair position where it looks like a revert. It looks like you're holding them up for a revert, like on the shoulder, sitting on your shoulders behind your head as if they're gonna do an electric chair drop. But Jade doesn't do that. She throws Naomi up, turns around, and does a power bomb. Power bomb. Looks like she's gonna go for a cover, but then immediately picks Naomi out of that, gets Naomi up and hits Jaded, and then gets the 1, 2, 3, 3. I really enjoyed that blockbuster counter to the jackhammer spot. I loved that reverse power bomb that Jade did. Naomi looked really strong in this match, in my opinion, for her heel work. I would love to see that this goes to like Naomi getting put into like the women's US title picture around SummerSlam time. I would love that's where Naomi's gonna go from here because I feel like we're gonna have one more match between these two at Backlash. Backlash. I don't know why. I feel like Bianca is gonna be involved in that because they still want Bianca involved in the story with those two. Maybe it's a one-on-one between the two, and then Bianca has to be special referee and pick a side essentially. I don't know. But I'm gonna pass this off to Delisha and get her opinions on this match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Up until this point, this was my match of the night, of night one. I think this is the best Jade has looked since coming into WWE. She has definitely been putting in the work while she was away, and I've actually been enjoying Naomi's heel persona so far, especially on Twitter. Or I'm not calling it X, especially on Twitter. Her and the jabs going back and forth between her and Jade have been hilarious. That spinning power bomb that Jade did at the end for near the end of the match was um amazing. I don't even, well, we might have had something similar before, but I've never seen it before. But both of the women looked strong in this match, even with Naomi taking the pin. Like both of them looked really good. And the crowd was getting into this. I think, yeah, the crowd was getting into this match as well. Or maybe their energy was just picking up. Maybe they drank some energy drinks while during the New Day match. But the crowd was starting to go back on the like uptick. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this match. Yeah, I do feel like this isn't 100% resolved yet because, well, one, it is wrestling. Nothing is ever finished, honestly. But we'll have to wait until SmackDown to see. Yeah, I definitely I am curious to see what they do with Jade now, because now once this is done, she will be like away from Bianca and Naomi, or she should be. If this is the end, if not, then let's wrap that up and get her on her own, because then I think we will really see how she can progress here in the WWE. But we'll see. I see them putting her straight. If she isn't the one they put in the US title, I could see her going after the top title as well. But overall, I really enjoyed the match. I think these ladies put on a good show. And like I said, I think it was the best showing of Jade so far.
Yeah, I think the time off really helped her. I think she was really working, putting in time and all that. And I always say like how she comes in for like, the hot tag at the end and does all these power moves and wins the match for them. She really did get to showcase herself in a way, but I really have to give credit to Naomi. I'm not a Naomi fan, but Naomi really made her look very good. This is why I feel like Felicia likes her a lot. Naomi puts in a lot of hard work and does all these cool things. I never really gave her flowers. I still won't, because I think she sucks. But I think she did make Jade look good. And that was cool. Like it was a real good WrestleMania moment. I think not only for Jade, but I think for Naomi, for actually showing what she can do and how good she of a worker and stuff that she is. In the ring. So she sucks on the mic. The whole Bianca and her crying segment was awful. That was painful to watch. But yeah, like this was a good match. I'm glad they didn't make it the bathroom break match. They actually made the Tiffany shot the bathroom break match, I guess, in a way. But I'm glad they didn't make this one, because this was actually a really good match. And I mean, like you said, up to this point, this probably would have been the match of the night up to this point for me as well, because it was very well done.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I also had to remind myself that Jade has only only been on TV in WWE for a little over a year now, and not even having a bunch of matches still. I mean, she was in a lot of tag team matches with Bianca, but yeah, and she hadn't had a lot of like one-on-one matches. At least on TV. I can't speak for house shows or anything like that, but I had to remind myself of that as well. And also, this is only maybe her either 5th or 6th year wrestling period. So the fact that she gets to be in 2 WrestleManias back to back, and whatever she did in AEW, well, she was their longest reigning like TBS champion, one or the other, or TNT. I don't remember which one. There's so many belts, guys. So many belts. But
Plenty.
I sometimes I tell around myself that she's, I guess would you call her a veteran? I don't know. She's still almost in the end, I guess, of her rookie wrestling career, so to speak, because I believe she has a lot of years left in her to go. So I do think, and I think even she said she didn't until she got to the PC. She hadn't had training like she was getting training now when she was with AEW. They kind of they let her like not fend for herself, but she was saying it was a very different pace training in the PC than it was when she was at AEW. So hopefully we only see her go up from here, but you never know what might happen. But yeah, I wish her all the luck, and I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't foresee her being in WWE for much longer. Honestly, I think she has the youth to be there forever, but I think she might get bored, or something just might happen and she might not want to be there anymore. But that's just me. Unless she's having a good
Actually,
time.
she does own a couple of other businesses as well. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't see her being there, but who knows? All right.
No,
The next,
I was just saying potentially she has years and years of wrestling
yeah,
that
she
she could do.
does.
That's what
But
I
I
think.
don't think she wants to be there. I think
Yeah, that's
this is kind of like a
yeah,
Samantha
that's
Irvin situation. I think, in my opinion, not for singing or anything like that, but I think she's maybe using this as a stepping stone for something else. Who knows?
or like wrestling isn't the end all be all, so to speak, right? That's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. the next match was for the United States Championship, featuring the United States Champion Max Dupree against Jacob Fatu. And I believe Will is this match.
LA Knight. Yes, I got this match. So LA Knight and Jacob Fatu make their entrances. They don't have any special entrances or anything like that. Just the normal entrances. Solo Sikoa did join Jacob on the stage, but immediately went backstage. The stage as Solo made his way down the ramp. This match was mostly dominated by Jacob Fatu. Jacob done most of the domination of the match. Like LA Knight would get some hits in, get some moments in, and early on in the match he went for the BFT. However, Jacob as LA brought Jacob down. Jacob had landed his hands on the mat and then stood up without his head hitting the mat and just stared at LA Knight like, oh no, like that normal stare that he does throughout the show, throughout his career. Sorry, I just got a text message. I can answer that no later. But he does his normal stick and then Knight. As Jacob's dominating the match, Knight just tries to find things to do that to weaken or stun Jacob so that he can get the momentum back in control. At one point, he made Jacob Fatu bash his head on the top of a turn post like Umaga used to do, which I thought was a good callback to Umaga, respecting the Samoan the Hawaii family. He even sent Jacob Fatu's twice into two different ring posts with his shoulder, and Jacob still was not getting weakened down. So first time Jacob Fatu has LA Knight down for the that pop up moonsault that he does. The first time he goes for it, LA Knight gets up and meets Jacob Fatu on the top rope. Jacob Fatu knocks him down. Then LA Knight does his normal like jump up to the top rope and then immediately hits her with a big move. He does that and then meets Jacob Fatu with a it was a German suplex. I almost called it belly to back suplex because Jacob Fatu landed on his face. But that's how LA Knight blocked out the first moonsault attempt. LA Knight will follow that up with his elbow drop from the top rope while Jacob was standing. Well, momentum quickly gets back into Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu goes up for the second attempt at the pop-up moonsault. But as he's coming down for the moonsault, LA Knight gets up and catches Jacob Fatu with a BFT as Jacob coming back down from the moonsault. This was apparently botched, according to certain people on the internet, but I didn't see it as a botch. I thought it landed pretty cleanly. And it was a near fall victory for LA Knight, but Jacob Fatu grabbed the bottom rope, showing that wherewithal, that ring wear awareness of where he was in the ring to grab the rope to break the pinfall attempt. LA Knight goes up to the top rope, probably planning to do another elbow drop to weaken Jacob Fatu some more, but Jacob would meet him up there, take him down on the top turn post. While LA Knight is on the top turn post, Jacob Fatu would climb up the rope and hit a senton right there to LA Knight's back. Get back up to the rope and meet LA Knight there. Come down with a top rope Samoa drop, go across the ring and do not one but two pop-up moonsaults, and then get the 1, 2, 3 for a clean victory and title-changing hand as Jacob Fatu gets his first singles title in the WWE. And I don't see this man dropping this belt anytime soon. I know Cal was happy that LA Knight lost this match, so I'm going to pass this off to him.
I didn't even see LA Knight at all. I don't know who that guy is, but Max Dupree losing was great. I hate him. He's so annoying. He's got nothing going for him except for his catchphrases which is pretty stupid as well. But yeah, Jacob Fatu, thank God he finally won something. I thought Tama Tonga would be there because people like seeing Tama Tonga. I don't know why Solo Sikoa came out. I thought they were just having some beef recently. if I remember correctly. But Jacob Fatu was amazing. That BFT from the moonsault was a pretty cool spot in the match. Other than that, yeah, like I even told Raj and Shiv, like, how can a BFT hurt him? Because like Samoans are known to have the hard heads, so that move shouldn't technically hurt him at all. But I guess seeing it coming off the top from a moonsault into that made sense. But obviously didn't put him away, and he won the match. I'm happy to see that. I don't see him losing, like Will said, until maybe he faces someone like a Bronson Reed or that kind of person. That's someone who I see could beat him, but I don't think I don't know what feuds they could have, especially like with the bloodline kind of dissolving now. I think the WWE officially said like, or they was said like on a podcast, like on the Pat McAfee show or something, that they're kind of dissolving the bloodline, the whole thing like that. I'm sure it'll come back eventually again because they have all these people in the pipeline with like Hikaleo and like Zilla Fatu and all those guys coming through eventually. But for now, they're taking a hiatus on it. Maybe Solo and Jacob fight eventually, because that's what they're kind of leading to. But I don't see Solo beating him because Solo just usually puts everyone over. He's like the Miz now. You know what I mean? Like he's always putting people over. So I don't see Jacob having. Braun Strowman shouldn't beat him. I think the person who should beat him is Bronson Reed when he eventually comes back. But yeah, that's how I feel. Maybe like Solo and him fight, and then Solo's like, listen, like I might not be able to beat you, but I have someone who I know could beat you, and then he brings in Bronson Reed. Maybe that's how Bronson Reed comes back, and he's kind of like on Solo's side, and the Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are kind of like, we don't know which side to join. They might stay with Jacob Fatu, and then they have like Hikaleo come in their side, and then that starts the whole bloodline thing again. But I think Bronson Reed being brought in by Solo Sikoa to help beat Jacob would be the way to go. Delisha?
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed the match. I know a lot of people thought it was going to be like a big squash match just because of the Jacob Fatu, how he's been portrayed. But I do appreciate that they let them go. Because I was talking to my friend who was watching and like texting me about it. I said I think this might have been the best showing of LA Knight in WWE, or on the main roster. I think he has some good matches on NXT as well, but on the main roster so far, I think this might have been his best showing of showcasing his ability. And of course, it was the right choice to make Jacob Fatu win. I guess on a more better example of a crowd getting behind a person like Jay, but his like since Fatu showed up in what was it, SummerSlam? I don't remember which one he showed up at. Literally since then, the fans have been on his side. He could do no wrong in their eyes. Like he could beat up the whole roster top to bottom, and they'd be like, everyone's like, yeah, we were cheering for that dude 5 minutes ago, but Jacob here, we cheered for you no matter what. I do see him having a good title reign, and him and Solo are definitely having a match at some point, possibly SummerSlam, because they would probably want to build this up as a good match. They sowed the seeds of dissension between them for weeks. It hasn't come to a head yet because nothing like physical between them has happened, but that is 100% coming down the pipeline, and I'm actually here for it because I actually really do like Solo Sikoa. I don't think he got a chance to really be or find his own footing like on his own and on the main roster, because I know you guys, or Cal, I know you didn't watch NXT, but he was very over in NXT and had really great matches, and he was like the North American champion for a good while and stuff like that. So they do believe in him, and I do think now that we're done with the Bloodline saga as like the overall overarching story of WWE, I think now those quote unquote side characters like Solo, the Tongans, Fatu, Jay and Jimmy, they would have been fine regardless of whatever happened with the Bloodline. But though I think particularly those guys can now try to find their own footing in WWE and go off either in tag or singles runs like they're starting to do now. So I actually am excited to see a Jacob Fatu run, and I totally agree. I'm ready for Bronson Reed to come back. That's another person whose Twitter is hilarious to follow if you need a good laugh, especially when PLEs are going on and he's tweeting along about it with it. That I think is very funny. But yeah, he would be a good. Literally, you could put Jacob Fatu up against a paper bag, and I'm like, it's gonna be entertaining as fuck. But yeah, I am excited for his reign and for him to truly stand out on his own.
Yeah, I actually did watch. I think we're right. That's when I kind of started watching NXT when Solo was the North American champion. I believe he had like longer hair, right? Like longer hair. And he kind of dressed like the Usos back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, yeah. Well, not it wasn't long, but it was longer than what
Yeah,
it is currently.
yeah. And he dressed like the Usos. When they first were like the Usos. All right.
Solo Sikoa was NXT North American champion for 7 days.
It was
7
only
days.
7.
He only held the
Why did
title for 7 days. Because
wait?
he won it shortly after he won.
Right?
He won it. He won it shortly after going to help Roman in Clash of the Castle, and then Roman told him to go to NXT and win a championship. But because he wasn't on the NXT roster anymore, so they made Solo Sikoa vacate the title.
Yeah, I knew it was
And
something
I'm
stupid.
surprised. And Delisha, I am surprised that you didn't. I know you watch NXT. I'm surprised you didn't think that Obafemi could come up and face Jacob Fatu.
Well, I think they still have plans for him right now. Which is why I didn't bring it up because we'll get to it later. But I had a small hope that it would have been him to go up against Randy, but I was like, he just put in a lot of work in the main event at Stand Deliver. I wouldn't, but yeah, but no, I think they still have big plans for Oba right now, so I don't see him being called up anytime soon. Maybe a surprise if someone does like a open challenge type of thing again like KO when he came up against John Cena for a little bit, but I don't see him right now because he is one of their biggest stars or biggest draws to their product. I think they're going to keep him around for a little bit, which is why I didn't mention him. But yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next match. The next match was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, but Rey Mysterio got hurt, so they're like, "Hey, does anybody have a similar name to him?" They're like, "Yeah, we got Rey Fenix, so might as well use him." So it was Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. Who's this match?
I believe that is awesome. Yeah,
Delisha.
I picked all the night, like most of the night one matches.
I had two apiece. It worked out. I didn't even know what night they were going to be on. I guess I did know, but when I picked that, I just guessed.
No, I mean we knew some of them. Yeah, I will say I was a little confused when well I wasn't home for like the pre-show stuff, so I didn't know about much of the stuff until I got home and like Joe was filling me in on what was going on. But in my mind, because I had already forgotten that the night before during the Andre Memorial Battle, say that 4 times fast, Battle Royal, that El Grande had cost him being the winner of that match. So, because I was like, why would they choose Rey Fenix? But besides him being the new shiny toy, I was like, why would they choose Rey Fenix to defeat and to take Rey's place? I was like, Dragon Lee was right there. Isn't that like his bestie right now? But I guess the argument could be made because El Grande cost him the Memorial winning, which he shouldn't be mad at losing that anyway. But because he had cost that, I guess, you could make the argument why they chose him instead of Dragon Lee, which again, he's right there. Supposed to be literally Rey's right-hand man, called him the next Rey Mysterio. Sorry, dude. No, we're going with Rey Fenix right now. But yeah, I think I think this match started out pretty well. You didn't really know what to expect because we haven't really seen El Grande wrestle much. I think he had the one match on Raw or 2 matches. I think he had 2 matches. But we didn't really get the scope of what he could do. And I know Cole was on the outside talking about saying it's Chad Gable, but we saw Chad and El Grande in the same room at one segment a few weeks ago. So I don't know where Cole was getting this information from. That actually was the highlight. The big thing of the match was Cole, Pat, and Wade just arguing on the sidelines about who El Grande is and if he has relations to Chad Gable. No, I think they're just really good friends. And, maybe Chad calls him up like, hey, there's an opening spot here in WWE. Why don't you come try out? And he got the job. Maybe that's it, but we'll have to keep following for that. But all we know is that Rey this is actually his second. Is this his second or third match? Solo match, right?
Third
Third.
singles match, 4th match
Third.
in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, the guy just debuted a month ago, and he's already got a match on WrestleMania. I mean, that says a lot about what a company thinks about you. But again, as if you're just tuning in, I don't have my notes, so I don't have the in-depth recaps that I usually do. But we did get to see a lot of the high flying, I'm gonna call it luchadorness from Ray Phoenix. It's gonna be weird saying Ray and having to decide who you mean if you mean Ray. I think maybe I'll just say Phoenix instead of Ray. Phoenix doing his I'm now calling it patented because that's how Michael Cole speaks. So I'm gonna say now his patented move of like running along the ring and then like not a somersault. Y'all know I don't know
A
the
hard
names.
Kanana?
Thank you. I was like, y'all know I don't know the names of these moves, even though I've been watching wrestling since I was 6 years old. But
Even Rose and Solo know the names of the moves. I hear them say it.
hmm?
Even Rose and Solo know the names of the moves, and I hear them say it.
Listen, they got that youth brain in them. I'm getting old.
They got it from Dad. That's what it is.
Probably.
Since Joe is a fact checker, they know all the moves now.
But we had I'm gonna just say Phoenix doing his luchadorness, and I don't. Sorry, I am in a dusty area. I don't know what's going on. Like anyway, hold on. Sorry. Sorry. But we had El Grande doing some luchadorness matches with like some hurricanranas, and then but he did stick to it, bring it to a mat game, and giving Ray I always call it the slow motion German suplex, where it's not as fastly done. They kind of I don't know, or it's called a release German suplex. Anyway, where it kind of looks like he does it almost in slow motion, which is I always think that's pretty cool because it really shows the strength of a person, of how you could just like flip them over like that. And then we did see I think it was sorry, it was either his last solo match or last week where he had slipped the brass knuckles into his mask, and he tried
Metal
to do that
plate.
again. You said metal pipe?
Metal plate.
Metal plate.
Oh, metal plate. I was like, what?
you
Oh,
said brass
no.
knuckles.
Oh no, that was in a different match. Sorry.
That was Logan Paul match.
Or maybe because I'm so used to brass knuckles being a small weapon of choice for someone that I was like, of course he would just stick that in his mask. I gotta be honest, I don't remember the ending of this match. Maybe Will might have to cover it for me, but I do remember El Grande getting the pin over Phoenix, which I thought, well, two things I thought was gonna happen. I thought either he would get unmasked. I thought someone from I almost said the Creed family, but one of the Creed brothers or someone else from Alpha might come and help him because they have been allies. And then and which would prompt LW to come out. And I thought there would be like a melee on the outside, and then Grande would get unmasked after being pinned. That didn't happen because that is disrespectful. No, but El Grande winning and then just continuing on, I think is a great idea. And Phoenix eating the pin, even though he is like I said, the hot new toy. I think that was totally fine. I think we've already seen how good he is and can and will be in WWE. So he's fine. He literally just got here. And then we still have this feud between the LWO, El Grande, and they don't call them American Made. That's their name. I was like, they are not Alpha anything anymore. We still get to see that play out on the screen, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I think this alliance with Chad and the Creed brothers is pretty fun. And Chad Gable is like so underrated, but then so great at the same time of being put in whatever situation, just making it work. So I am looking forward to how this story still gets to play out. I'm hearing rumors of a show in Mexico, but I don't know if it's some were saying a WWE show and some were saying an NXT show. I'm not entirely sure. But if they can keep this going, I can see it coming to a head there if they do that, because that makes the perfect sense to have the story come to a head in Mexico, where the luchadors reign supreme. But overall, Cal, did you like the showing from El Grande? Are you enjoying Ray Phoenix? And do you see him as another superstar, much like how his brother Penta is doing? Do you see him also rising up to that occasion further along in while being on the roster?
Well, first off, I want to say I don't know why I keep mentioning Chad Gable because we didn't see him all weekend at WrestleMania, so I don't know why I
I
keep
said
giving
he's
him
in alliance.
what.
He's in alliance with El Grande.
Oh yeah, but you're talking about how well he's been wrestling lately and all that, but we haven't seen him wrestle in like a long time. At least that I remember.
I meant,
He was just in
I,
the
I meant
Gable
in
was just in the
general.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Was he?
Mhm.
Yes.
I didn't watch that, so or I was not paying attention to that. So technically it didn't happen. And I think the thing you're talking about is the Worlds Collide, which is like the AAA versus NXT PLE coming up the same
Oh,
night
okay.
same night as Money in the Bank. But it doesn't mean people can't
Oh,
cross over.
wait,
What?
is that in Mexico?
I don't know if it's in Mexico or not.
No, that's what I'm hearing, is that they're thinking of doing a
Oh,
PLE in Mexico.
well
Which I
then,
said, if that's true, that makes perfect sense
yeah, then
for
that's
all
fine.
this to come to a head.
And to answer your question about Ray Phoenix, no, I do not see that. I don't see him as a superstar. I don't think he's been. I was so excited for him to come because I love the Lucha Brothers in AEW. That was one of the few things I really enjoyed about AEW with Lucha Brothers, and them as a tag team is amazing. But I like Penta alone, but Ray Phoenix is not doing it for me alone. I think it's quite boring. Like I actually like Dragon Lee a lot better, um, and stuff like that. So I thought I really would like Ray Phoenix, but he really let me down. So this match I was really looking forward to because El Grande Americano is probably the best luchador we have on the roster, and it's just I don't know. Ray just didn't do it for me, and I wanted Ray Phoenix, I should say. They just didn't do it for me. So hopefully, they get put together soon. Like I said, with Lucha Brothers going against what do you call it? The New Day, because that would be kind of cool. But as for El Grande Americano, I'd love to see him fight, like him having a feud with Chad Gable maybe, because eventually he's using him and using him and using him, and then eventually they get into a fight. So then it'll be Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano at SummerSlam. Maybe have Mr. America hanging from above the ring with a shark cage, or have him on a pole, and you can grab Mr. America and something like that, or have Mr. America in like El Grande Americano's corner, and have Hulk Hogan in Chad Gable's corner, and have that kind of match, or a tag team match, like those two guys together, Hogan and Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano and Mr. America. I think that would be a good match at SummerSlam. I'd watch that match at SummerSlam. I think Will agrees because Will's loving this match. But yeah, what'd you think about this match, Will? If he doesn't pass out.
Second, please. Oh, you're killing me. Oh, I thought it was a decent match for something that was put together for such short notice. Because Rey Mysterio was injured last Friday on SmackDown during a six-man tag. I think Ray Phoenix did good in his first showing at WrestleMania. Of course, he lost because of a metal plate that he accidentally kicked while Chad Gable had it. Chad Gable had it in his match. I'm sorry. I know Chad Gable is El Grande Americano. I'm sorry, Cal.
No fact. No,
I'm
no,
mentioning
no, no,
spoilers.
no.
There is facts. There is facts. They have the same back. They have the same tattoo in the back position right in the top portion of the back. Same exact
No, but
tattoo.
El Grande Americano, he draws it in before every match to make sure people throw off that idea.
But to finish off what Alicia was talking about the finish of the match, Ray Phoenix went in for a and headbutt the match with the metal plate, and that pretty much knocked him out, and then Americano did the diving headbutt from the top rope to get the win. So it wasn't a clean victory because of the metal plating in the match, despite what certain secret bosses' opinions. But I thought the match was alright. I kind of don't like the El Grande Americano character. I think it's already stale and boring. It's sort of similar with the whole Mr. America thing. I did not like the Mr. America thing. Because it was very clearly Hulk Hogan under that mask the entire
That was
time.
never Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was there also. He actually got fired from WWE. They wouldn't let him back, knowing Vince McMahon. Will was only
Oh,
two.
Cal, you gotta respect.
Will was only like 2 years old anyway when Mr. America was around. So
I was 8. I'm a 90s kid. But I'm really loving Ray Phoenix, unlike Cal. I'm a huge fan of Ray Phoenix. He was one of the few wrestlers that like I said, I never watched AEW. There's certain wrestlers that I always followed there. The Lucha Brothers were 2 wrestlers that I always followed, and I always watched what they did because I love their ring work. I do think Penta is the better of the 2, but I think Ray Phoenix can hold his own as a individual talent, and that's why they came in and on separate brands. That was the entire intention, to bring them in as their own stars and then bring them together down the road. But they wanted to establish them individually first. And I think Ray Phoenix is doing a wonderful job, especially because it seems like we're getting a program between Ray Phoenix, Andrade, Santos, Humberto, and Angel Garza, all on SmackDown for between those five, and I think that's gonna be excellent. Those are gonna be some excellent Lucha Libre matches that are gonna take place over the next several weeks that we're gonna see. Now I say at Backlash, Mysterio is cleared. We get the WrestleMania match that we're supposed to get, and then Rey Mysterio pulls off Andrade's mask and reveals him to be Chad Gable, just so that we can hear people talk about it.
If you did watch AEW and saw Lucha Brothers, you would know that Ray Phoenix is nowhere near what he was in AEW, doing all that cool stuff that he did in AEW with like Canadian or Mexican destroyers into tables and stuff like that. And also, the original idea was to bring them together as a tag team to beat whoever the Motor City Machine Guns beat. The Motor City Machine Guns took their spot only because Tony Khan held up Ray Phoenix's contract. Otherwise, they were supposed to come in together and be the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, whoever that. I think it's the WWE Tag Team Champions. And Motor City Machine Guns were supposed to be in NXT and help bring up the new younger talent and raise them and teach them. That's what was supposed to happen. But unfortunately, Tony Khan held up Ray Phoenix's contract. But anyway, anything else to talk about this match? And then we'll finally see that.
No, I'm good.
I can't wait till Chad Gable comes out and faces him. All right. The next match was for the WWE Women's Championship, featuring the WWE Champion Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte Flair. Finally, I get to talk about a match. And this match, people weren't sure what was going to go on in this match because people are saying, there's like real tension between the two, and they went off script and all that kind of stuff. But it was a very hard hitting match. I could kind of see Charlotte going stiff against Tiffy a bunch of the times. They kind of just brawled a lot, and then Charlotte took the early advantage and kind of hitting some heavy kicks to the face and like forearm shivers to the face a lot to Tiffy. There's talks that Tiffy lost her tooth or something, but I took a picture where it's afterwards where her tooth was like fine, her teeth were fine. So maybe it was just the lipstick that got on her teeth and it made her look weird. She did look weird at the end of the match, but they did go a lot of stiff shots to the face, a lot of forearms by Tiffy, kicks and punches by Charlotte. Tiffy did target Charlotte's knee that she just came back from the injury from by kicking it and bending it backwards and hitting on the ring post and all that kind of stuff. But Charlotte did not take it all because she returned the favor by attacking Tiffy's knee to work on for having her figure 8 leg lock later on in the match. So eventually, Charlotte got the figure 4 onto her, tried to bridge into a figure 8, but Tiffy started kicking and punching Charlotte's knee, so that made Charlotte relent and give up the hold. Then they went to the outside for a while, and then I think Charlotte was about to go for her moonsault, but Tiffy jumped back up onto the apron and pushed Charlotte off and started working on the knee again. Tiffy went for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Charlotte got her knees up. They battled into the corner. Charlotte got up onto the top. Tiffy started punching her again. Then Charlotte pushed her off and hit a natural selection off the top rope, which looked pretty good. Tiffy kicked out of that. And then They started going back and forth, and they were yelling at each other, and it got really sloppy at this point. There's like a small package or inside cradle by Tiffy, but that kind of broken up before even the ref got down to pin. Then they got their hair in each other's faces and started trying to punch and look really sloppy and kind of messy at this point. Eventually, Tiffy was able to get Charlotte down to the ground and hit the prettiest moonsault ever and retain her championship, which was a pretty back and forth match. Charlotte did dominate for a lot of it and hit a lot of stiff shots on Tiffy, and Tiffy just took it, I guess, because she's the rookie. Not the rookie, but she is relatively new to the main roster. So and Charlotte was just maybe mad because she's not going to get the win and become the 15-time champion. But it was a very similar, swatching two, like a mirror image of each other fighting, which is kind of weird. Much like Chad Gable and El Grande Americano. They're basically mirror images of each other, but they're not the same person. Same thing with Charlotte and Tiffy. So that's what it was. It was back and forth action, really good match. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I was expecting a lot more from this match. That was kind of like the theme of the night. Like I expected a lot more from like all the matches. The only one that really lived up to the hype for me was the. I didn't even have hype for it. Maybe that's why it was so good for. Was the Jade Cargill Naomi match. I didn't expect anything from that match. I was supposed to go to the bathroom in that match, but I didn't. So like I'm glad I didn't because that was a great match. Like this match did not live up to its hype. It was good back and forth match. It's a very well wrestled match, except for that little sloppiness I talked about. But it wasn't what I expected seeing from Charlotte and Tiffany, if that makes sense. I expected more from those two. So it wasn't that good, but it was okay. What'd you think, Will?
I thought the match was great. I thought Tiffany had a great entrance with the Barbie entrance. One thing that drove me nuts when I was looking at the attires is if you look at both of their attires, color scheme wise, if you put Charlotte's attire in a wash for like 50 times and let the color wash out of it, you'll have Tiffany's
Right.
colors. So it felt like they were matching again, like they did during that promo standoff that ended up going unscripted. I was stunned that Tiffany retained. Like this was the one match I was like, oh no, this is no way Charlotte's losing. They want to put they want to put another title on Charlotte. They want to get her to 15. They want to get her to 16. They want to get her up there. There. I don't want Tiffany to lose. I want her to retain, but I'm expecting Charlotte to win and gain and capture the title. So when Tiffany got Charlotte down for the 3 count, I thought at first I was like, that didn't just happen. Then I thought Charlotte forgot to kick out. Like that's what I felt because I felt like it wasn't supposed to, like I don't think the finish was botched or anything. Like I said, I watched WrestleMania with friends in a voice chat, and and before the match started, we were like, if Charlotte Flair loses, she has heat from going off script in the promo. That's what we said. That's what we said to each other, and then she ended up losing. So we were like, oh gosh, she probably does. She may have heat because we were all expecting Charlotte to win. But I am incredibly proud that Tiffany won the match because I've been enjoying her title reign. It's been fresh because it's not the same 4 or 5 people holding the title over and over and over again, and I'm not ready to see her drop the belt yet. What about you, Delisha?
Yeah, I thought the match was good. Objectively, I thought the match was good. I'm just not a fan of Charlotte anymore. She has shown nothing new in her character since ever, as I would say. And so it just takes the enjoyment out of watching her because I like objectively she's very athletic, very good at what she does in the ring, but there's no evolution to her character, not even any type of tweak whatsoever, except for when they tried to make her a face that one time and it just fell flat. So I guess I don't know, but I am glad that Tiffy won. I do think that is the right decision. I don't think it was heat on Charlotte for that promo because since they both went off script supposedly. But yeah, overall, I thought the match was good. I did enjoy Tiffany's entrance because she has been called a Barbie since she stepped foot in NXT. And I do think that like if you want to push the future, you got to push the future of the business. You, like you said, you can't just have the same 4 or 5 people holding the title, no matter what their name is or whatever, because it just gets boring. Even for a while when Bianca had the title, it was just like, okay, like we need something new. And now that she's been out of the main title picture, well, until WrestleMania, or I guess I say since the Chamber, but since she had been out of the main roster, main title picture for a while, it was like, okay, cool, yes, let her do some side quests because we know she's great, and then she can come back. I feel like we need to do the same thing. Well, I don't know if it's like creative or Charlotte or whatever that's like Charlotte has to be in the main event of everything. Because like I'm already tired of her, and she's only been back for 3 months. Since Royal Rumble, and I'm like, I'm already tired of you. I want you to go away again. But like I said, I'm glad Tiffy won, and I'm just excited for her to have feuds with other people.
Yeah, I've never really liked Charlotte. I was tired of her before as soon as she got into wrestling. So, because I never liked Ric Flair either. So I was always a Sting guy. So I never liked Ric Flair. So I just didn't like Charlotte. So I mean, that's just me. I think the only time they're probably gonna be a good, like, she puts on good matches, but I can do without her. The women's division at NXT is so strong. I'd love to see some of them. And then they also brought that girl, like, what, Kiana Jade or whatever her name was, up, or Kiana James.
Mhm.
Like, what happened to her? Like, and I think she got hurt. She injured
She broke her
knee.
leg.
Right.
She broke her
Whatever,
leg.
whatever. Alex Ovechkin broke his leg. 30 days later, he was back on the ice skating, and he set the all-time goal record in the same season. So with 40-something goals, right? So he broke his leg and he was only out for like 30 days in hockey, where you use your legs a lot, So what the hell is Kiana James doing? Get back there. Dakota Kai, stay healthy. All these people I would rather see than Charlotte Flair. The one time I want to see Charlotte Flair, and we've yet to see it, was 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen. That's not going to happen anymore since they're all like gone. So we could have new 4 horsewomen like Tiffany, maybe Bianca, because she could go against Sasha Banks, and then like Bailey and maybe Roxanne are 2 nemesis, and then Becky and maybe Lyra, and they had like 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen, or whatever you want to call it, or 4 faces of fear, whatever you want to call those other group, and have that. That would be kind of cool. But other than that, I really don't need Becky. I'm not Becky. I mean, I could do without Becky too, but I like Becky though, but I can do without her. Bailey, I don't like either. Like, I don't think I like either, honestly. I like Sasha, but she's gone. Now she's annoying. But yeah, like, I don't know. The 4 horsewomen I can do without. I'd like to see these new women get put up and do well. That's why. All right. The final match of night 1 was a triple threat match featuring Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out first and copied one of Rock's old entrances with the flamethrower. Not the one from last year with the thing, but he had a one before that several years ago with the flamethrower. That was cool. And for the best entrance of night 1 would have to be Roman Reigns. I really liked it. It was a typical entrance, but what I liked a lot about it is they paid homage to the old bloodline with, like, they showed Yokozuna, they showed High Chief Peter Maivia, Alpha, Sika, all that kind of cool stuff. And Rikishi, as you walk down, they had these big billboards that were kind of like in the shape of playing cards that they kept rotating pictures of current wrestlers on. But when Roman Reigns came out, they got lowered down to like the ramp, and they changed to different members of the bloodline through the years, and that was really, really awesome to see. I think that was the best entrance of night 1 because I thought that was really cool to see and have a good homage there. And then finally, CM Punk came out to a live thing of In Living Color. I don't think the live music worked this year. I know Damian Priest had it too, and that was kind of off. It went on for like a long time, and the guy just started with a whammy bar solo for like 30 minutes, and that was annoying to watch. And then he kept playing, and like, you could see like Damian Priest kind of signaling for him to stop, but like he kept going and going and going. We'll get to that. I mean, I don't even want to mention it again, so I'm just saying it now because In Living Colors was actually better. But they cut off when they were supposed to. So that was good, but it didn't come out sounding that as good in live. I don't think it did. Same thing with Damian Priest. But yeah. So CM Punk came out last, and then all 3 men started in the ring. They all looked. Seth Rollins kept imploring to Roman, let's get him. He doesn't belong here. And before that can happen, before they can do anything, CM Punk rolls out of the ring and goes to Paul Heyman and starts getting some advice, kind of like a little jab to Roman Reigns, like, hey, he's in my corner. Eventually, they all start going at it, and Punk and Seth are outside and hitting each other. They brawl into the audience, and when in the audience, they start hitting each other with garbage cans back and forth. I don't know why Cody was involved in the match, but they kept throwing Cody at each other. And then I think eventually Seth Rollins got suplexed onto Cody Rhodes, and then eventually Cody Rhodes left for the rest of the match. And they both fought towards the barricades again, and that's when Roman Reigns did flying spear, or whatever you want to call it, dive over the barricade onto Seth and CM Punk. They all got back into the ring and started fighting back and forth. I think they brought out chairs. No, they didn't bring out chairs yet. I don't know if they brought out anything, to be honest. I'm trying to think if they brought any weapons out. I don't think so. They started fighting. There might have been. I feel like there was a weapon, but maybe they used the ring posts and stuff and like that, and the announcer tables. But they started going back and forth and having a lot of false finishers coming up. Not finishers. They tried to go for a GTS, miss, a reverse. They tried to go for a stomp, but the guy got out of the way. Tried to go for a spear or Superman punch. Everyone just kept like reversing it or stopping the move from actually happening. A lot of back and forth action. There wasn't really anything of note until later in the match when I believe I don't know what happened first. Was it what there was a I think CM Punk went to the top for he hit his patented elbow on Roman Reigns. Then he tried to hit it on Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins got up and went up for I think he was going to go for a Falcon Arrow, start of a Falcon Arrow, but then Roman Reigns got up and put Rollins on his shoulders, and then CM Punk hit the Doomsday device off the top onto Seth Rollins. That was pretty cool. Then after that, Rollins countered a spear. No, wait. So I think he hit a pedigree on Roman. I mean, on CM Punk. Then, or Roman speared CM Punk. One of the two happened. Then Roman went for a spear onto Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins jumped over it, and when he bounced up and came back, Roman went for a spear, but Seth Rollins caught him in the air and pedigreed him out of air. That was cool. Roman Reigns kicked out. A lot of people kicked out of a lot of finishers. There was like 18 finishers. So the word finisher does not mean finisher anymore, at least in this match especially, because everyone did their finisher like 17 times, and everyone kicked out. CM Punk put the Anaconda Vice on Roman. I think he also put it on Seth. Neither of them tapped out or choked out. Then they went to the outside for the announcer table. Rollins cleared the announcer table. Cleared both announcer tables, or cleared one, and then he cleared one and asked Roman, come here, let's do this, let's put him out, he doesn't belong here, let's put him out. And Roman's like, all right. So you thought a shield bomb was going to come, but before the shield bomb can happen, Roman punches Seth in the face and then picks up CM Punk and power bombs him through one of the tables. Then Roman proceeds to clear the other table, and this is one of the complaints I had all night, and this is when I kind of first noticed it, but in this match, it happened multiple times. Seth then got powerbombed through the second table, and then he immediately got up and got back, or he got dragged into the ring and got speared, or Superman punch and then speared, and he kicked out. Okay, that's fine. But then later on, there was a point where, how did it go? CM Punk went for the GTS on Rollins, but Rollins got out of it, and Roman speared CM Punk. No, wait. I'm trying to think of how this happened. Because it was... Well, how did that happen?
I'm trying to remember what you're trying to explain here.
Okay, yeah. So I got it. Punk hit Rollins with the GTS. Rollins bounces up and just stands there like this, like dazed, and then Roman hit Punk with the spear, and as Roman gets up, all of a sudden Seth Rollins is back to normal and hits the curb stomp on Roman. So 3 finishes in a row, but like
and then all 3 men are down after.
Yeah, but Rollins didn't go to sleep from the go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like he was still up and fine, and then had enough wherewithal to hit his. I mean, there's points in the match where it happened in the Logan AJ Styles match as well, where like I can understand kicking out of a finisher, but not even taking. This is like AEW now, where people don't even get affected by
selling.
finishers. Like I can understand him being okay. He's dazed, and then he gets a moment of clarity and does it. Then he passes out again. That it was a cool spot, but I didn't like how he didn't sell the GTS in that moment. Like he was immediately like out of the GTS and into his finisher, and then he was out again. It was a cool moment, but unfortunately, I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. I mean, it was cool, but like it didn't. I didn't like how it happened. Anyway, at that point, all three men are down. That is when the camera pans to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman grabs a chair. You think Roman Reigns is calling for the chair. Roman Reigns is calling for the chair, but he throws it to CM Punk. CM Punk's like, the fans go somewhat crazy. CM Punk gets up, but now Paul Heyman gets into the ring. He's like, why is he getting to the ring? Well, if you're a smart enough wrestling fan, you know what he's gonna do. As CM Punk revs up to hit Roman with the chair, Paul gets onto one knee and low blows CM Punk from behind, and then Roman puts a big smile on his face. Then Paul Heyman picks up the chair and kind of presents it on a silver platter to Roman, and then he starts hitting CM Punk with the chair brutally, and that pretty much takes CM Punk out of the match. Then Paul goes, look at Seth. Look at Seth. This is the shield. It's the shield. You can get it back. You can get him back for the shield. So this made more sense. And then Roman puts him behind him, puts Paul Heyman behind him, and says, well, step out of the way. I'm going to hit him. And then again, you get that feeling like, something's going to happen again. If you're a smart enough wrestling fan, you know what's going to happen. As Roman gets started ready to hit Rollins with the chair, Paul Heyman once again goes to the knee and low blows Roman Reigns this time, and then kind of keeps his hand there and goes, I'm feeling your nuts, I'm feeling your nuts, I'm feeling your nuts, and then takes it out, and then he proceeds to pick up the chair. Paul Heyman starts picking up the chair, gives it to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins then does the shield chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns. I would like to have seen him do the curb stomp onto the chair, but he didn't. He curb stomps him normally and goes for the pin and gets the 1-2-3 pin, thus ending the match and having Seth Rollins win and Paul Heyman defecting to Seth Rollins. Before I give it over to you guys, I just want to say that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this match I noticed a lot. Michael Cole, he's not that old, but he's slipping with his commentary. He called like Roman Reigns Rollins like several times. He called Rollins Roman Reigns several times. I guess it's like me when I say Sheamus and Cesaro. They're both like shut sound at the beginning. But he said Roman for Reigns Roman for Rollins and Rollins for Roman. And he also called Punk like Hook 3 times. I was like, Hook is not in this match. Hook is in AEW. So if you go back and listen to it, he's saying Punk, but it definitely sounds like he's saying Hook. He said Hook at least twice in the match. So that was kind of weird. He's like, Hook hits the GTS. I'm like, what? Hook? I was like flabbergasted. But yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed that he's like slipping and stuff. But yeah, I'll go to Delisha first for this. Delisha?
Yeah, I guess
That's
also,
Rose agrees. I think that was Rose. Or was that Solo?
Mhm.
I heard someone go,
Oh.
ah!
Oh, that's the child.
Yeah, she agrees.
No, yeah, I think that also Cole is also. I mean, also Mania is a very long day, and he's. I think he was on the pre-show too, wasn't he, or doing something earlier in the day? So maybe again because of his of him getting older and having to work all day. Call it. Wait, Rose. Doing all that, it just slipped of the mind. I don't know, but that is funny though because I didn't catch any of that.
It was multiple. It wasn't just once. It was multiple times.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I didn't. I don't know if I just wasn't tuned into the commentary or
It's
what.
it's definitely how I'd say Sheamus and Cesaro for each other. But
yeah.
You gotta remember he had the Hall of Fame ceremony until like 3 a.m. morning, and then he had to go to WWE World for like 9-10 in the morning.
No, the Hall of Fame ceremony ended. The Hall of Fame ceremony ended at like 10 p.m.
Well, their time. Yeah.
The Hall of Fame ceremony started at 10 p.m. Pacific time. It started at 1 a.m. here in Eastern Standard Time. The Hall of Fame went to 3:30. I'm talking EST time here. Hall of Fame went till 3:30 EST, and then 9 a.m. EST. So 6 a.m. EST, 6 a.m. Pacific time. I want to say WWE World opened up, and Michael Cole had to report there, and then he had to report at the arena at I want to say it was like between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the WrestleMania pre-show because the pre-show started at 4. So the man probably only got like 4 or 5 hours tops of sleep.
I think they're used to it though, honestly. I really think they are. They travel a lot and they don't have a set time. I think they're used to it, honestly.
Yeah, well, I was just saying Mania in general, even just WrestleMania itself is a long night, and plus all his other, because he is like the head of the I guess
Okay.
commentary team, which also includes the backstage interviewer. So he's like kind of like the person they report to. So yeah, but yeah. So and like I said, I don't know if I like tuned out the commentary or whatever, but I didn't catch those mistakes, but I probably would have laughed. And it, like when Adam Pearce said Rhea was part of the Judgment Day like 2 weeks ago. It was I probably just would have laughed. It is funny though. But for the match, I thought this was really good. This stuff. I mean, it is the match that had the best build up for the whole weekend. Which I mean, I guess makes sense because this is years and years and years of storytelling between Steph and Punk and I almost said Rollins too, and Roman. All three of them intertwined in this storyline that also revolves around Seth is the common denominator between the three or two. But I really did enjoy the match. Actually, Roman was working a little bit faster pace than he usually does. He usually is a more toned, slower pace match worker, but he did seem to pick up the pace a little bit in this match. Yeah, I think this match was enriched because of the history between everybody in this match. I was joking with Joe that this is it might not be for a title, but it's the it's the who gets control of Paul Heyman match. Because I just thought that's really what they were fighting for. They were fighting for Paul Heyman. They want to win his affection. But I thought that was really. I thought the ending worked beautifully. With the betrayal upon betrayal upon betrayal of Paul Heyman, and if you watched Paul Heyman as a character since like maybe even ECW days, like his like goal is I'm gonna attach myself to the hottest thing I can to keep myself relevant. He wants to be on the island of relevancy, whether that is Reigns, Punk, or Rollins. And this time, it's Rollins. Although I do think in storyline, I think it's just gonna be that he agreed with what Seth told him last month. No, the Monday before, when he told him that those two just uses you, even though Seth is doing the same thing, but he's like, I'm telling it to you to your face of what I want you to do for me. That's what I think. I think that's the way that they will go, but I still don't know. So I'm still gonna be curious to see what Heyman will say to justify his actions, because I think that's just gonna be just a really good segment. And it also it's also curious, like, well, now what does Roman do? He has lost everything. He lost his title. He lost his bloodline. Storyline speak of them being behind him. He lost his wise men, and he lost the match. So it's like, Roman, what are you gonna do? And he still is not assigned to a particular brand. So I don't know if that remains to be true, or if he still will be able to float back and forth. Or will he be put on a certain brand? But yeah, I'm just again, while this doesn't necessarily, like we were mentioning at the beginning, this particular sort of hasn't wrapped up. It actually almost closed a chapter, and now we're on to chapter, I don't know, 300 or whatever. But you're still invested in seeing like what they do.
All right. Before we go to Will, Will has Roman ever beaten Seth 1-on-1? I know.
You mean clean?
101. I don't think so.
Because I know.
You mean clean?
Roman beat Roman. Technically, Roman did retain at the 2022 Royal Rumble, but Seth Rollins beat him by disqualification in that match. So Seth Rollins still won that match on paper, but it was by DQ. I don't think Roman Reigns has ever beaten Seth Rollins in a one-on-one scenario.
Yeah.
Because even their Money in the Bank match, Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns for the title, and then Dean Ambrose cashed in, and then all the Shield held the title for the same night. So I don't think Roman has ever beat Seth one-on-one.
So yeah, I think what's gonna happen is Seth now with Paul Heyman in his corner, he's gonna start going after every Bloodline member, and he's gonna beat Jay for the championship at like SummerSlam or somewhere down the line. First he'll take out Jimmy maybe, then he'll take out whatever, and he'll beat Jay for the championship, and then next year's WrestleMania it'll be like Seth versus Roman for the championship, and that might be the first time Roman actually beats Seth. And that could set up The Rock eventually or something like that. Who knows? But what do you so go on with this match? What do you think, Will? This match?
I thought this was match of the night material. I think this was match of the year material. I thought the storytelling was great. I thought Paul Heyman's betrayal was outstanding. I didn't know why he did the betrayal until this morning, because he revealed why he betrayed both Punk and Roman during the Pat McAfee show this afternoon. I don't know if you want me to talk about that, because I don't know if it's going to come up on Raw or not, but I can bring it up if you want me to. Like what his explanation, what he said why he did what he did.
I don't.
I could say that here if.
Oh, I guess we'll wait. I mean, I want to see if they say it on Raw, because I'm sure they'll show it again on Raw.
More than likely, and Pat McAfee would probably bring it up, but it's been revealed why Paul Heyman did what he did.
Okay.
But I thought this was a splendid match. I think this deserved the main event slot for night one. Out of everything that was on night one, I think this was the deserving main event spot. But I was expecting Punk to get the win, but I am actually, where the story went, I am glad that Rollins won. My question is Seth Rollins officially a heel now?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it feels like a heel turn, but I don't know if we can consider it a heel turn or an anti-hero move.
It's a heel turn, but people aren't sure for him. It's a heel
But
turn.
yeah, that's my general thoughts on the match.
It's hard when you have three faces going into a match. Same thing we had for the women's championship match, triple threat. It's all faces, right? Same, just like this. And I think Seth has to turn heel because they need that heel that's going to face Jey Uso, and I don't know. But yeah, I agree. It was probably the best match of the night, definitely.
I was gonna say also the crowd is not gonna boo Punk at all.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
no way crowd booing Punk, and I think the crowd is finally behind Roman. Seth Rollins is the perfect heel to come out of this match.
But I think
the fans will probably turn on him.
I think Punk can get the fans to boo him. I think he could do it. It's gonna be hard, but I think he can do it. He'll be, but eventually they'll start cheering for him again, even when he's a heel. So that's just how it's gonna go. But let's move on to night two. Spent quite some time on night one, which in my opinion was the worst of the two nights. But it opened up with not a pre-show, but an opening match for the Women's World Championship, featuring the Women's World Champion Io Sky against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And I believe this is Delicia's match.
Yep. So yeah, we came in. I think this was our second. No, for a second I thought Rhea came out with a band, but she didn't. They pretty much subdued interest, except for Bianca, who came out with like a double Dutch team. I didn't get a chance to read behind the reasoning for it, but I do know her stepdaughter was out there dancing with her as well, so I thought that was a cute moment. But I don't know why, but for some reason, until like the middle of the match, the fans really were booing Bianca, and I don't know why. I know because they people just really love Rhea and didn't want to boo her, and then also people love Io. All of us, I think all three of us love Io. And then, but literally from like last week or before, like everything she said was right. Rhea just inserted herself into the match for where she didn't deserve to be there, and Io kept getting sidelined by Rhea and Bianca. So, but like I said, everything Bianca was saying was true, that she really earned her spot for this match, and then Rhea gets to just charge in and get to be in this match. And that's how we got here. But again, I'm not mad at, because I think like these three are going to put on a banger, and that is what they did. Again, they were in story also, or in storytelling in the match, I should say, sidelining Io for Rhea and Bianca to go at it. Which on the sideline, I was like, why not just give us this one-on-one match if that's what y'all wanted to do? But it was still, like I said, it still played into the match story that they were trying to do in this match, to where we have Bianca, who just wants to again win a championship, a single championship again. Rhea wanting to regain her championship that she I guess you could say she lost herself a month ago from Io, just from being distracted by Bianca. And Io just trying to maintain, be like, hey, I'm here for a reason. But we had like Io being Io with all the high flying moves, and she is the high flyer of this match versus Rhea and Bianca's power technical moveset. Although they both all three of them are like athletic and can go to the top rope if they need to as well. But you had Io Sky doing like what are they, her springboard moonsault to the outside, to I think it was to both of them actually, at like them standing together onto the both of them. And then you eventually, because Io was, I guess in a way you can say, being a pest of going after Rhea and Bianca, like Bianca and Rhea kind of like teamed up a little bit to sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze again, to the outside of the ring, and sent her into the barricade. And then we had Rhea also giving her a it's called a Razor's Edge. I think I was supposed to call it something else. Oh, I think I was calling it Ethan's Edge, because Ethan Page does it on NXT. Giving her the Razor's Edge into Bianca, which I thought that was pretty fun. I feel like every few moments or so, each woman would get a chance to showcase some big movesets, where we had Bianca doing a 450, 450 onto Io Sky to try to go for the pin, and then Rhea would intercede the 2 count, and then she would go for the Riptide on the Sky, and then Bianca would have to break it up. Yeah, I think she actually tried. She did the Riptide from the second rope, not the top rope, the second rope. And then she tried to, and then Io countered with the Hurricanrana. And I don't know what's going on with me sitting in the dining room where I feel like I have to sneeze every time. But then also after that, Io went up to do her patented moonsault. And then Rhea got her legs up, so that Rhea didn't happen. And then Bianca went for the KOD, I believe, on Io, and then Rhea broke it up, and then Bianca tried to do the KOD onto Rhea, and I think then she got it out of that to try to get her into the riptide, and then Bianca got out of that, and I think that's when she hit her with her braid, which you would think she would do that in every match, but she doesn't. She only brings that out for matches. I mean, like kind of like big deal matches, which I think is I guess in reality, not a smart move. You would be doing that every match if it's a legal maneuver. But she only really brings that out almost like a desperate move, or in like big matches like that, like we saw it back at the Chamber. So I think only Rhea got the braid whip. I don't remember her hitting Io with her braid. But After that, she hit her with the KOD and went for a pin, but then Io came off the top rope. I believe it was from a moonsault. That I mean, because Io, I'm just gonna say it was probably a moonsault, and onto Belair, where Belair got pinned for the first time at Mania. That is, because they made a big deal out of that of one her being undefeated at Mania and never like being pinned because I think she was in a triple threat match at once. Or yeah,
Battle
they made a
Royal.
big
Battle
deal.
Royal.
Yeah, and of course because they made a big deal out of that, I was like, well, she's either one losing or she's being pinned and losing. Well, I guess obviously she got pinned, she lost. But overall, I really enjoyed this match. Like I said, I love all three of these women, despite me feeling not icky, but like feeling off that Rhea just got inserted into the match. It was just a very convoluted way of how we got here. But I knew we were going to get a good match because all three of them are some of three of the best women wrestling. I mean WWE for sure, but I think almost like I would say in the wrestling of the big wrestling companies, I would say. Um, and also this is a testament that one, I had family over because it was Easter. I had family over for an early dinner, and my mom stayed for some of the match, but then she had to go. She had to leave. My sister, who was supposed to leave like at 6:45, but she stayed when these three women came out, and she stayed through the whole match. So I think that is a testament of the gravitas, I guess, for lack of a better word, that these women have, or stage presence. That's the word. The stage presence that these women have. That even people who don't watch wrestling, my mom, I don't think she's watched a wrestling match in her life. And my sister, who only know people from the Attitude Era, that the fact that she just sat there, stayed, and watched the match and was like enjoying it. And then again, like I said, I didn't agree with the build up. I do agree with Io winning, and I mean it sucks that well, I guess they didn't make a big deal out of it until now about Bianca not having being pinned or losing at WrestleMania. But I guess it kind of, I guess you get that out the way so there's not that pressure to write that in for the creative team every year. But it would have been cool if we could have kept that streak going for a little bit. But I digress. But I guess now because we got over this match, we can say that she probably lost because one, we don't know. I don't think any of us believe that her and this Jade and Naomi situation are over. So now that she's still going to be on SmackDown, we're going to resolve up that storyline a little bit, whether it be immediately or in a month or so. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And Io's still on top, and is I don't know what's going to go on with Rhea because I like I said I enjoy her, but I feel like her latest reign was a little bit lackluster. I don't know if you two agree with me on that. And I don't know if it's the lack of it's not for lack of depth of the roster that they have, because they have a great roster on Raw of women who could have like gone up and had great feuds with her. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like her last reign was a little bit lackluster. And now that she has lost again, I don't know exactly where she stands in the realm of it all. But yeah, I don't know.
This match should have been the main event of night one, and the main event of night one should have been the main event of night two. That's how I feel. This was definitely the best match of the entire PLE, in my opinion. Um, it wasn't even sloppy. I think it was like one or two sloppy moments, but like other than that, this match was one of the best wrestle matches and high impact, high moment matches. Like you said, with the crucifix powerbomb into the other person, all that kind of stuff. The moonsaults, all the other kind of cool stuff that we saw in this match. I'm definitely going to watch this match again because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. Io, I think, is silently the best champion we have in WWE right now. I don't think she gets enough credit for what she's done. Like she certainly grew on me. I wasn't really a fan of hers. I like Kairi Sane. Everyone knows she's my favorite Japanese wrestler here in WWE right now. I love her so much. Unfortunately, she's not shown that much, but they did have a nice segment. I think I retweeted the other night of her like reaction in the back of her genuinely crying when Io won. They showed Io's parents hugging in the audience when she won. She is just putting on great. She is like Sheamus, putting banger after banger after banger on, and she makes it look so effortless. Like she doesn't have to do any crazy spots. I know she's the Empress of the Sky or whatever she is, or Genius of the Sky, whatever she is. Um, uh, I think it's Empress of Tomorrow is Oscar, right, or whatever it is. Or,
First up tomorrow, the Oscar,
yeah,
Genius of the
she's
Sky,
Sky,
Io.
and then the Pirate Princess is Kyrie Sting. But yeah, so the Genius of the Sky, she does moonsaults, yes, and stuff like that. But she just makes it look so effortless and so fun. Like her little kip up into the head spring, whatever you want to call it, and she goes, yeah, about herself. Like she gets the crowd so pumped up, and like then she obviously got drilled by Bianca after that. But still, it's a great moment. You really love her, like you genuinely love the person she is. And I've grown to love her. She's like so fun and so demure and so humble, but yet she puts on such a powerful performance when she's in the ring. That's probably the most praise you'll hear me say for anybody in general. But yeah, I really have come to enjoy her. Is she my favorite female wrestler? No, but I really come to enjoy her, and I think she is going as a very underrated person in the WWE. I think she is the best champion they've had all year. Um, well, as long as I mean, she's only been champion 48 days, but whatever it was before that, even at WrestleMania last year when she fought Bailey, like I think she's been doing so well while she's held the belt. Like she brought prestige back to that belt specifically. Like how Miz brings it to the IC title. That's how I feel. But yeah, she's been great, and I think she should get more. I don't know, recognition. I feel. I know fans are behind her nowadays, but I feel like the WWE doesn't give her recognition. But other than that, I did like the entrance with Bianca with her stepdaughter being there. Though I'm like I say to this day, I'm tired of that hair gimmick. She uses it like Alicia said, but then someone should just pull it and tie her to the turnbuckle so she can't get out of the turnbuckle, and then you pin the other person. You know, eventually I think it's gonna get to a point where like she's gonna try to keep losing matches until the only way she can get into a match with like the champion is to have a hair versus title match, and she'll probably end up winning that. But I think eventually she should get rid of the hair gimmick. But yeah, she should turn heel. Like I don't know if you said that or Will said that, but she should be turning heel.
I thought it.
But Bill, yeah, Will said it in chat. She should turn heel, and then eventually, when Sasha comes back in like 5 years, she'd be like, "Listen, you're everything that I used to be. You know, I'm the heel of this company. I'm the bad bitch. I'm the CEO or whatever she's called, the boss. And now you're trying to take that from me. No, you learned that from me, and then they can have another feud again. But I think the only thing cool about I love Rhea Ripley too. I love her. Of the three women in the match, she was my favorite. For a while, and now Io's been growing on me, obviously. But for Rhea, I think the only part of this match besides that crucifix powerbomb, spear, whatever you want to call it, torpedo move she had, I think the other only good part was her entrance, where she paid like homage to one of the Joker versions that they had in DC Comics a while ago, with like that crown of like spikes
The
and
thing.
What?
Crown the crown that looked like it was a hand in the face and it had the black wedding veil.
Yeah,
and
but
all that.
he didn't have all that, but he had a very similar crown like that, and that's why he had the giant red lipstick too, because paying homage to the Joker. So that was cool. But I really like it. This is the best match of the night, of both nights, I should say. My favorite match of WrestleMania 41, and good for you to win. And if you watch the posting, I think Jackie Redmond gave her a shirt that said WrestleMania 25 champ or 41 champion or whatever it was, 2025, and she like got so happy she put on did that thing again, like she's so genuinely happy and humble about things that it means a lot. And seeing Kyrie's reaction was amazing. Seeing her parents' reaction was amazing. That's the same. I haven't felt like that with the reaction since like Kofi brought his son into the ring and celebrated with his son after he won in Kofi Mania. What did you think, Will?
I thought this match was great. I thought the emotions behind it, like that we felt in the match, were good. Good. I agree with you that Io has been one of the better champions over the past couple of years, ever since she won it at SummerSlam a couple years ago. I am just I love Rhea Ripley. I'm a fan of Bianca Belair, but it's a similar situation with me as it comes to Charlotte. They're just getting too many championship matches. That I just want to see that. I want to see Bianca turn heel. She's been a face on her entire stay of the main roster. I think she needs a heel run. She was a great heel in NXT. But I think both of them are just in the title picture way too much. Like Delisha said about Rhea's last title reign, was staler than her first, my opinion. My opinion is because that she spent most of that title reign fighting Liv Morgan, and it was the same match over and over again. So it's like we got other female talent, let's use them. Take Bianca out of the kitchen, take Rhea out of the kitchen, take Charlotte out of the kitchen, and let's get some of these other women a chance to see how they would do with a championship match.
There you have it. Will agrees with Alicia that women belong in the kitchen.
Oh my
I
god, that is not what I was saying.
We have it on video.
That is not what I was saying.
Exactly what you're saying.
To be precise, I said get them out of the kitchen.
Okay. Any more thoughts about this match besides women in the kitchen? Okay. The next match was Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. That, I believe, was my match. This match started out pretty hard hitting right from the beginning with brutal stair shots. As both men went to the outside and started hitting each other with stairs. A bunch of tables were set up but weren't used as of yet. Eventually, they got into the ring with chairs and stuff. I think Damian Priest hit Drew with the chair 3 times in the back and then set up in the corner, which was to be used later. Eventually, there was a point where Drew went for, after the chair shots, before the chair shots happened, Drew went for a Claymore. Damian Priest threw the chair at Drew. It was done pretty poorly. Drew sidestepped and hit it away, but it kind of looked like he got hit by the chair. But he actually, I would thought he got hit by a chair, but apparently according to Pat McAfee, he sidestepped it and like swiped it down, so it looked poorly. It was like a botch. It didn't look as sloppy. So he didn't get hit by the chair, and then immediately proceeded to hit Damian with a Claymore. He tried to go for a second Claymore while with Damian's head inside the chair, and as he went for that, Damian hit like a choke slam, which was supposed to be the South of Heaven, but he didn't fall down with it, so it wasn't really the South of Heaven. Then Damian hit Drew with the chair a few times, then propped the chair up in the corner, which we'll get back to later. Eventually, the stairs were brought into the ring, tables were set up. Drew tried to get a white noise, I think, off the top or off the second rope through the table in the middle of the ring, but Damian reversed it into a razor's edge through the table, went for the pin. Drew kicked out. They went back and forth multiple times. Eventually, Drew hit a feature shock onto the stairs, but Damian kicked out. Then Damian started taking the upper hand and went for doing the old school like Undertaker did. But as he's halfway down the ropes, about to jump off, Drew pushes Damian off the top rope onto the 2 tables that were already set up outside. Damian crashes through it. Drew starts smiling, gets him up, brings him into the ring, puts his head against the chair that was in the corner, runs and hits a Claymore, and gets the 1, 2, 3. It was a pretty brutal match, pretty quick match, a very short match, but it had its moments. It was good. It was good comeuppance for Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre got his revenge from last year's WrestleMania and got some brutal shots in. And Drew put on another good match. As short as it was, it had moments, had no extra like lollygagging or anything like that. So it was a good match, in my opinion. I thought it was done well. I'm going to Will first on this. What do you think?
It was a brutal street fight that I feel like it's going to be the conclusion of a rivalry, but I don't think it's going to be concluded. I have a feeling Damian was injured because Damian said to the referee at the conclusion of the match, "I can't breathe." He's like having trouble breathing. So I don't know if when he went through the 2 tables outside that he got injured. So they went to they instead like called an audible, immediately went to the final Claymore to the chair in the corner spot, and then ended the match. Because it feels like that Damian May got injured, and then they set up to the finish just to get him out of there for safely. But I feel like Drew was supposed to win anyways, and it just gave that more brutal feeling to the end. So I thought this was a great match, great street fight, and really brutal finish.
Delisha?
Almost forgot I was on mute. Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed the match, but I also just really enjoyed Drew and Damian Priest, and I think these two have really good chemistry with each other. My favorite spot of the match was Drew once again heading getting a photo up and putting it on Twitter. Well, he didn't put it on Twitter. I'm pretty sure it was his brother who, like, hit the send or whatever, because Drew didn't really have time literally to do all of that. But that was one of my favorite spots. Drew, I just wanted to be a petty cunt for the rest of his career because it is just hilarious, and he's doing the best work he's done ever. And I do think Drew needed this win more than Damian. Damian hasn't really been doing much since he finished up his feud with the Judgment Day. Not to say he wasn't like being good or anything, but I think in this particular instance, it favors Drew more to win. And excuse me, but yeah, I like I said, I think they do work really good. I did catch it at the end that the ref and like Damien having a little talk. I couldn't read his lips, so I didn't know what he was saying. But so the fact that he might have been saying like, yeah, he can't breathe, he might be injured or hurt, or something like that. But hopefully, if not nothing too serious, hopefully. But yeah, but much like I said, I thought this match did what it needed to do for these two. And now hopefully them two just move on, because this doesn't need to be a months long feud, because it really wasn't a lot built up for them in the first place with this match. But like I said, it was a pretty good match, solid. Nothing like, again, like not overwhelming, not underwhelming. It was just like a solid match, and I think it was a good breather from the triple threat and like a good transition onto like our next match. But like I said, these two are like the utmost professionals in the ring, and pretty good to work with. So I didn't think it was going to be a bad match at all.
That brings us to our next match, which is the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship, featuring the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker against Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor representing Judgment Day and Penta. And I believe this is Will's match.
This is my match. I got a lot of notes here. I'm gonna try keeping this brief and quick. So I'm gonna try breezing through this notes. Match starts off high pace. We get a tope immediately to Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio while they're outside from Penta, and then Braun Breaker comes flying from around the ring and takes Penta down with a flying shoulder block that looks like he jumped from a mile across the mats on the floor. The first time we get a finisher within the match is when Braun Breaker would spear Dominic, and he goes with a cover. Finn breaks it up, however, and takes Braun out of the match. We now have Penta and Finn going at it one-on-one in a ring, and Penta hits the sacrifice on Finn, and then attempts to do the Penta driver to Finn Balor, but Braun comes back into the ring, grabs Penta by around the waist, and proceeds to do a German suplex, pretty much German suplexing both Finn Balor and Penta. Dominic Mysterio gets in after Braun Strowman does that and puts Braun into the 619 position. Oh wait, but yeah, no, it was Braun. It wasn't Braun first, or no, but Carlito comes out at some point when Finn Balor and Dominic work together on taking out Breaker and Penta. But then it gets to the point where we got just Penta and Dom in the ring, and Penta had already hit Finn Balor with the Penta driver, and which pretty much took Finn out at this point. Penta would get a Mexican Destroyer done on Dominic, but Carlito at ringside pulls Penta out of the ring to prevent Penta from getting the pin, brings Penta over to the announce table and is standing on the table. As Carlito stands on the table, Braun Strowman runs from the other table and would spear Carlito through the announce table.
Braun Breaker.
Breaker takes Carlito out of the match with a spear through the table, taking him out. Back in the ring, Dominic Mysterio sets Finn Balor up for the 619, but Finn Balor would block it and then start beating Dominic up because Dominic turned on Finn here. Braun Breaker comes in, spears Penta, and that pretty much takes Penta out of the match. because then we get Braun. The finish comes up with Dominic Mysterio taking Braun in the back, hitting the 619, goes up to the top rope to hit the frog splash, but Finn takes swipes Dominic's legs and hang him up on the top turnbuckle, goes in the ring, hits the sling blade on Braun Breaker. Breaker follows it up with a coup de grace as Finn Balor is pinning Braun Breaker for the victory. Dominic Mysterio comes up from the top rope with a frog splash on the Finn Balor and pins Finn Balor. And Dominic Mysterio steals the Intercontinental Championship by pinning Finn Balor for the victory. And what was a surprise? The first surprise of the night for me was Dominic Mysterio getting cheered heavily by the fans for this victory. Like, he had so much heat, and he finally got over. Seems like he finally got over with the heat that he built up, which I like for Dom, because Dom has been a great wrestler. But I'm stunned by how quickly he got over within this match. It feels like it was a deserving win for Dominic Mysterio, and I think this is gonna implode the Judgment Day tonight on Raw. I am going to pass this on over to Delisha. Delisha?
While she's unmuting herself, what's up? What's up, Entertain? Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a good evening.
All right. No, because where my phone stand is right where I have to press the mute button. So I'm like trying to press it while it's still. Anyway, I again, given the people on the card, I knew this was going to be a good match, and it did not disappoint. It was like action filled, where everyone got to do their moveset, and like everyone got to like shine in this match. And even though I'm not the biggest fans of Braun Breaker, I still enjoy the work he does in the ring. He's just not one of my favorites that I like to watch. Of course, Penta has been proving himself to be very worthy of his contract in WWE. And Finn he's a veteran wrestler. He's been doing this for 1,000+ years. So I think he can put it on a good match with his eyes closed. And Dom, I knew he had it in him, but he also really shined in this match as well. And I think we all knew people just love to boo him just for the sake of booing him. I think people who legit watch the product know from his days of being with his dad to, I think, people getting actually real heat for not being great to now being really good in the ring. You can see why the wrestling is literally in his blood, and to see the crowd cheer him here to get the win and get like one of the biggest pops of the night. It was really fun to see. It's like, well, I was gonna say it's like watching the kid grow up, but like we literally watched this kid grow up in the business. So I think it's gonna be. I don't think he's done right now with his healiness, but I think he's gonna eat this up, and this is gonna be a good I guess push for him to be more in that upper mid card and eventually into the main title picture as well. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, and the fact that he pinned his fellow Judgment Day member pushes the story forward. I mean, we knew the breakup was coming. They've been sowing the seeds of tension for like what feels like since the beginning of the year, if not the start of last year. So either Judgment Day is going to break them as a whole, or it's just which I think they should do, or Finn is going to be out on his own, much like Damian and Rhea have done. But yeah, overall, great match, great result, and I'm excited to see this title picture shape up more.
I was excited for this match. It was a good match. The only person I didn't want to win was Dominic, so go figure, he goes and wins the match. I guess it's gonna be good for him. It's kind of like, it's interesting to see that him and the New Day, who are both getting heavily booed to the point where they can't even speak on the mic anymore, both being champions. So having them all out together during a segment would be kind of interesting to see how loud it gets. I would hope it was like a foreign crowd, and having them do it to them, because those crowds usually get louder. So I'd love to have seen that, but it was a good match overall. I think it's too early for Penta to win. I would love to see Finn Balor with the championship one last time as well. Maybe having him and AJ as world champions each in their respective brands, even though I think they're all both on Raw or whatever. But it's never like locked down. So I'd love to see Finn Balor as one of the champions and then AJ's the other champion, kind of like they had with like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan back in the day. That would be cool to see. But I don't whatever. It was a good match. Good for Dominic, I guess, but a good ending as well. Penta really got to shine a little bit too. Braun Breaker, obviously, we know how talented he is. All that stuff. I'd love to see more from Finn Balor, but I guess we'll see. This is just leading up to a new story, right? Or continuing the story, so that's good. The next match was the Randy Orton Open Challenge, featuring Randy Orton and a mystery opponent who ended up being someone that no one really cared about, Joe Hendry. And I believe this is Will's match.
Yes, it is. Randy Orton comes out to the ring in a tribute to his rookie attire, his blue and yellow attire that he started off with. Comes in, cuts a quick minute promo, and then the camera starts zooming in on the entrance, and we get Joe Hendry coming out to the ring. I popped like crazy for Joe Hendry appearing. I was expecting a Rusev or an Aleister Black or a Sheamus. Joe Hendry wasn't was on the back of my mind. Fine, I'll get to the end of the match of why I think it was proper for him to be him, because it was a quick, short match. Joe Hendry got a couple of his moves in like his net breaker, and his freak of nature fall away slam that he calls it. He went for his standing ovation that he normally does, but Randy Orton would block it with an eye poke. We see Randy Orton go for the RKO a couple times during the match. First one was an immediate roll-up attempt, but Joe Hendry gets blinded by the Wrestlemania lights, does his signature twist and pose, and then gets RKO'd for a quick 1-2-3 finish. I thought it was brilliant. It gives Randy Orton a much needed win on WrestleMania for his 20th anniversary, and it gets some attention for TNA. Randy Orton picks up Joe Hendry, raises his arm, and then proceeds to RKO him again, and does his own twist on Joe Hendry's signature spin and pose. It was a quick 3-minute match, very entertaining and comedic, nothing super serious. Why I'm happy that it was Joe Hendry, because if it was a Rusev or an Aleister Black, this match called for Randy Orton winning. Randy Orton was going to win with Kevin Owens. This match called for Randy Orton winning. If we had Rusev or Aleister Black come out to face Randy Orton and lose immediately, instant credibility lost for those two stars. So bringing in Joe Hendry, it gets TNA some light. It makes history by having the TNA World Championship on WrestleMania for the first time, and it's a quick victory for Randy Orton. So all parties win in the end. And I'm gonna pass this on to Cal.
Yeah, for me, like I think Will thought the pop was so loud because it was probably just himself screaming in his own ear. I think no one really cared, or maybe like knew who he was. A lot of the casual fans probably had no idea who he was. I think he's been used too much. I don't think they should have used him in NXT. I think they used him twice in NXT. They shouldn't have used him then. Royal Rumble. I don't think they should have used him in Royal Rumble. I think this should have been his debut in WWE, because I think that would have been a bigger pop and cool way to introduce him to the WWE universe. I think this should have been his debut, and that would have made it a lot more impactful. I also did enjoy the finish where he did his signature pose. However, there was a botch because the cameraman started zooming in right away because he thought Joe Hendry was going to turn, but he didn't. He kind of did like a little shoulder thing, and so the cameraman zoomed in. So he then zoomed back out, and then Joe Hendry did it, and he zoomed back in again. So that was kind of like a mess up. It would have been better if he done it cleanly the first time, and then having the RKO come out from there, that was great. And then him doing it again to Joe Hendry, that was good. Then he gave him a little pat on the chest, like, "Hey, good job, buddy. Good luck in the future," all that kind of stuff. And then him doing the signature pose of Joe Hendry in his own twist, like Will said, that was cute to see as well. And have a little smile on his face. I think he's really enjoying his twilight years right now. He's having fun. And that's good to see, because I've always loved Randy Orton, but then I got tired of him for a while. But I have always thought he was great. I think he got too serious at one point in himself. Now he's taking it more easy, and that's the better way of seeing it. He's got that youthful vigor again. Joe Hendry, I don't know, see what the appeal of him is. I don't know if he's a comedic actor or what he is in TNA or anything like that, but I just don't know much about him. And he's not like when I thought Moose fight Obafemi, that was cool because like Moose has that aura, like that appeal, that big guy thing, where fighting Obafemi, that was cool. But for Joe Henry, honestly, I don't see the appeal of how he is. A lot of the TNA women as well. I used to watch TNA a lot with like Velvet Sky and Anjulie Love and all those people, like Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, ODB, all those people that like that was fun to watch. But like when they fought like I forgot who it was that came and fought like Wendy Chu. I'm not a fan of Wendy Chu anyway, but I didn't get who I didn't understand.
Rosemary?
I have no idea. And
Rosemary?
then like the Tatum Paxley and all that kind of stuff, like these fighting, like I don't know, like at Cora Jade going over and doing all that stuff, like it just doesn't like it hasn't been the same. The women's division there hasn't been the same for me as it was back when I used to watch TNA. But I feel like the whole thing. I think the only person who had appeal is Moose, and I didn't know anything about Moose until I saw him fight over Femi. I thought that was kind of cool. But other than that, TNA hasn't really had an impact. Or impact. That's what it's called, isn't it? I didn't mean to. What a word. What a play on words there. Didn't really have an impact on me at all or anything. Delisha?
I echoed a lot of what you guys said about the match itself. Yeah, I had heard a lot of people putting his name in the hat of the mystery opponent, but I wasn't sure if WWE would do that on Mania, mainly because a lot of that partnership was with NXT. Even though I know he appeared in the Rumble, but they had already opened that door with like Mickey James, stuff like that. But so the fact that they did it was I was shocked, but in a really good way. Like they actually went through with it. And but yeah, no, the crowd really did pop. Actually, did pop for him when he came out. It might have took a second for people to realize who it was until they put the Titantron. I mean, till his like music and stuff played, because they just opened the door first, and then the music played, and I think that's where the delayed reaction might have come from. Oh, great. But I thought this was just a perfect way. I like what's the perfect way to showcase them both, because like you said, with this being the 20th year for Randy's Mania appearance, and he was going to win regardless. So like I said, even though it would have been cool to see like Aleister Black and Rusev come out and be the challenger, they were going to lose. Because I remember, I don't know if I said it in the chat or if I was saying to someone else. If it was the case, it really depended on how injured KO was. Because I thought he might interfere, and then they would just continue that feud on a different PLE. But apparently, he broke his leg, or his knee, or he needed surgery. He might be out for upwards to a year. So then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't think yeah. So this was like the perfect marriage of getting a cool mystery opponent. And I don't know why, because the internet's the internet. They were trying to say that they buried Joe Hendry, and I was like, no, the TNA World Champion was featured on WrestleMania card, and he got to do a good portion of his moves. And if you thought he was going to win, I'm sorry, I don't think you've been watching wrestling that often if you thought he was going to win. But it was a nice showcase. It was also much like his Rumble appearance too. He was in there for about 5-10 minutes and then chucked out. So I think I think WWE, they're just waiting for his contract to be over with TNA so they can grab him up. So they're like keep sprinkling him in just to keep reminding the crowd. I'm like, hey, Joe Hendry's here. Don't worry, we'll grab him when his contract is up. So I think they just keep going to work. Huh?
Same thing they did with Jordan Grace.
So, yeah, exactly. What is that?
What is that, Cal?
Fighter. Can you see it? It was it just about jumped onto me. That's why I said, "Oh shit!" And I like stepped back, and I just vacuumed it up.
Oh.
But yeah,
I know why he's showing it. I know why he's showing it because I'm here.
Imagine this was on your keyboard, Bill. You would have like ran out of the room.
Yes, I would have.
All right, I'm gonna go put it outside. I'll be right back. If you can keep talking, I'll be back.
Yeah, I thought this was a great play to just keep sprinkling him in, because they, like you said, we do have that partnership with TNA, and like I said, it is mostly exclusively through NXT. But yeah, I thought it was really fun to see him, and I think legitimately, I think Randy did like he showed him respect because like I said, he let him get his moves in. And even like the little RKO at the end, and then him doing Joe Hendry's pose move. It was like you said, him or Cal said, him having fun in the last whatever how many years left he has as a full time like wrestling competitor. And I'm glad he's having fun with it because when Randy is not invested, he is so boring. And I think I've said it before on the show before. Like I did for a while, a good couple years, I did not care for Randy, but now that he cares, I'm more invested. So it was fun.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I saw someone say on Twitter, if Joe Henry doesn't get to face John Cena in his final year, getting to take on Randy Orton, another one of WWE's all-time greats, is a great consolation prize to that.
That spider's been in my room for like a week now. I just let it live in my room, and now it finally. I've been watching it like the past week, and I don't like to kill things, so it's funny that it just came like right onto my hand right there, and that's why I jumped back. I'm like, "What's touching me?" And I was like, "Oh crap!" Then I
he
went
was
to go.
telling you he was telling you he was ready to go.
Yeah, so then I put him into the little vacuum, and then took him outside. All right. Anything else about this match?
Nope.
Nope.
Our next match was Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. As I talked about, Roman Reigns having the best entrance of night one. I believe Logan Paul had the best entrance of night two, and if not the best entrance of WrestleMania. There were things I wanted to mention about his entrance, however. Logan Paul walked out when I thought it was holding a camera and it was like a selfie thing, but no, it was not a selfie thing. It was a drone that he was holding, and then he lets the drone go and the drone flies around. Then they engage like 14 different camera angles. However, 2 of them the same angle. That's what I was complaining about. I didn't like having both of them as the same angle. Anyway, then AJ came out to his old music, which I liked. They started fighting back and forth. I think Logan dominated a early part of the match, a lot of it, until finally AJ was able to come back into the match. It was a very well wrestled match, but it wasn't very entertaining in my opinion. The few high spots were mostly Logan Paul doing cool things, whereas opposed you'd see AJ Styles doing cool things, but I guess since he's getting older, he's not doing as cool things anymore. But Logan Paul did hit his buckshot lariat. He did get to a point where he did the drone again. He hit his like split move, whatever you call it, where he runs the ropes and does a split and lands on him and pins the guy. He hit a really, really far line salt. That was really cool. It was basically across the entire damn ring. He did his frog splash. And then at one point, I don't know the guy's name. Will's gonna know his name when as soon as Will puts his headset on it. Will, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up?
Oh, what's the name of the guy who comes out to help Logan Paul?
Jeff.
Seth?
His name is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. Yeah, so the guy Jeff comes out and has brass knuckles, but Karrion Kross stops him. Then Karrion Kross tells AJ Styles, here, use it, trust me, use it. But AJ's like, no, and he hits Karrion Kross. Then he gets back into the ring and then gets hit by Logan Paul with a punch, but I don't think he had the brass knuckles on. It was just a regular punch with his titanium hand or whatever he has. And then he does his finisher move called the Pulverizer, which looks pretty cool. And he gets the 1-2-3 win. But yeah, it wasn't as good as a match as I thought it would be with 2 really athletic guys being in the ring. Like I said, it might be AJ Styles' age is showing now, and he didn't really do any cool things. He tried going for the 450. He tried going for the phenomenal forearm, but he didn't. Either of them, Logan Paul countered them. Logan Paul actually even did the Styles Clash first, and that's the point I was getting at, is that he did the Styles Clash, and as soon as he did it, right away, like, AJ Styles reversed it into another Styles Clash of his own, which is like, so he took his own finisher and just turned it around. So, like, I don't like how, like, Seth Rollins took the GTS and then was able to have enough energy and wherewithal to do the stomp right after that. And then now AJ Styles in this match takes his own move and then is able to, within a second, turn it around. It's something that we've always been complaining about AEW, how no one sells moves. They didn't really sell any moves there, so I didn't really like that. But yeah, this match wasn't. I really thought this was going to be a good match, much like we thought Shinsuke versus AJ at WrestleMania would be a great match. It didn't live up to the hype, and this one, in my opinion, did not live up to the hype for me. So I wasn't too pleased with this match, even though AJ Styles has been having great matches and stuff like that. Even though Logan Paul's been having great matches, I would expect the same from AJ Styles, but no. We'll go to Delisha first. What you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. Agree with you. Like my feelings of Logan Paul aside, I thought this match was just fine. Um, uh, I don't think it was Mania worthy. Like this could have been on SmackDown. It would have been fine. Or Raw, I should say, because they're on Raw. It would have been a Raw. Would have been fine as well. But it is what it is. Again, like you said, Logan had a cool entrance, which I think that's just par for the course for him because he did start out as being a content creator, so grabbing people's attention through, media is what he does. But yeah, this match was fine. It hit all the beats of AJ being AJ and Logan trying to be the shit heel and try to get over any way he can. Not get over, but get through the match to win any way he can, but also being athletic with it as well. I did spend most of the match back and forth in and out the kitchen because I was like getting dinner together and cleaning up from dinner and stuff. So I didn't pay attention as much as I probably would have much because it was Logan Paul, but just seeing the later half of the match, it was, like I said, it was fine.
All right. Well,
This match disappointed me, so, partially because I know the great competitors that Logan Paul and AJ Styles are. They could have done a far better match. I just feel like they just didn't want to work with each other. That's the vibe that I got from them.
I think Logan would probably more want to work with AJ. I think AJ Styles probably didn't want to work with Logan. As much as I love AJ Styles, I feel like he had a bad taste in his mouth about Logan. That's what happened. That's what it looked like. Because he really dialed it back, in my opinion. AJ did.
Yeah, and I can agree with that because I feel like they both have had great matches, and I feel like they could have had great chemistry together. But it just felt like that like you said, like AJ did not want to work with Logan.
Yeah.
Logan, and it was a shame. It's a shame because the fans are the ones who hurt after that. Hurt the most because they don't get a good match on it. Like Delisha was saying, I feel like this should have been a Raw match. This was my worst match of night 2 for me.
All right. And welcome Solo. Solo joins us on stream. How are you doing? Just excited? All right. The next match was for the Women's Tag Team Championship. She knocked it over. Featuring the Women's Tag Team Champion, Liv Morgan and Raquel, whatever her name is now, against the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. And Bayley was injured and removed from the match, so they had a surprise, which I correctly guessed would be Becky Lynch, and it was. And I believe this is Delisha's match.
Yeah. Sorry, momming over here. Yeah. As a surprise. Wait, Rose, stop! You're gonna knock it over again.
Oh, Rose is there too.
Yeah, but she's because of the height of the camera, she's out of view. Of course,
I was
now
just trying to be the camera person.
no, she was hired by Kevin Dunn apparently. But, much surprise to no one that Becky was the tag partner she would go for. One, because she has history with Lyra, being like their friends, or respect and the respect that Lyra has for her, and because it was probably just time for Becky to come back. And Becky also has beef with Liv because Liv is who Becky is who Liv beat to become the women's champion at the time, and of course she kept claiming, she took Becky out. So of course she had a little beef with that. So I believe Becky made the most sense, even if it was predictable. Like she made the most sense, and apparently this was the plan the whole time. Like they didn't just backdoor Becky into the match. Like that was the plan, to have Bayley be taken out. And for Becky to take her place. Now, what does this mean? This mean for Bayley, because she kind of gets cheated out of possibly becoming a champion. Storyline wise, for the match, it'll be pretty interesting to see. And I don't because I think the information came from the pre-show, so I don't know if they showed Bailey getting attacked. But now we have another who attacked who scenario on our hands, which is funny because we just got through that with Jade. I just thought that was funny, but we'll see what they think. But immediately, I believe it was Lynch who was the first woman in to what we thought was going to be facing Liv, but then she completely tagged out to get in Raquel. And then I think Becky jumped and put her in some sort of like sleeper to try to get the match over and done with from the jump. But she got, I think Raquel like rolled out of it, and then she tagged in Lyra, who would then go after Raquel with a bunch of like kicks and stuff. And then I believe that's when Raquel tagged in Liv, and Liv took over and trying to keep I'm gonna just say Lyra away from Becky. You know, tag team 1-on-1, keep your opponent on your half of the ring so that they can't get to their tag partner. But and then I can't remember what happened. I think they had whoa, sorry, camera's off the phone again. I think they had Lyra like in their corner, like jumping moves on the. Can I have that, please? Hello? Yes. That's not yours.
Wait, Delisha.
Yes.
What room are you guys in?
What?
What room are you guys in?
The living room.
Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. Never mind. Go ahead.
I mean, dining room.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because now she has like all the stuff. I had them secluded, but then they were both getting whiny, so I had to open the door. Anyway, sorry. They had Lyra. They were like trying to double team Lyra, and then I believe Becky tried to get in the ring, and then like the ref, oh no, go back. You gotta be on the apron. So and then of course they just continued to beat up Lyra, and I think Lyra was on her way to like tag in Bex, but one of them, I don't remember if it was Raquel or Liv, like pulled Becky off the ring. So again, they continued to sideline Lyra, but she eventually was able to make the hot tag, to where Becky was I guess she would call it like a tackle Raquel into the ring post, and then went after Morgan, because of that. Of course, that is her, like, I guess you could say that's like her main target of wanting to get revenge on Liv, and giving her the is it called the Bexploder? Did they call it that? I don't know. Or did
Yeah.
I just make that up?
No, they called
Oh,
me.
okay.
The back suplex.
Yeah, and then put her into the disarm her, but Raquel broke up that hold, and then Liv was able to hit the Oblivion onto Becky, but then Lyra broke up that hold, and then I think at this point we had them like all four of them in the ring or out of the ring, like going after each other, and I believe Lyra did an outside dive to Raquel, I believe, on the outside ring, and then Lynch hit the manhandle slam onto Morgan to get the pinfall, and now we have new tag team champions. I thought the match was fine. Again, like I said, I think everyone knew it was going to be Becky. I was laughing at the fact that Lyra's flowers from her hair were just going all over the ring. I don't know why. I just thought that was funny. That I was like, oh, the poor people, they have to go and sweep that up before the next match starts. But I'm not surprised that they won as well. Again, Liv and Raquel weren't really doing anything with the title as far as like pushing things forward. But also Raw doesn't, as we saw from that tag team gauntlet match they had a week or two ago, that Lyra and Bailey won. They don't really have much. Once again, much like the men, don't have much of a tag team sphere, despite having really good tag teams. Also, despite NXT, those particular titles are supposed to be for all three brands, but I feel like the NXT girls only like once a month get a shot at those titles. As in tomorrow, I forgot. It's
Gigi and
Gigi
Tatum.
and Tatum. They have a shot at the titles, I guess now against Becky and Lyra tomorrow. But it's just like they could be. This is how they also could be showcasing like the NXT talent on the main roster by having them just do like in that tag team sphere. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I don't know what the tag team have the most roller coaster um storylines like of all time. But yeah, again, it is kind of like whatever because it's still a throwaway tag team. Whether it was Lyra and Becky or Lyra and whether it's Lyra Becky or Lyra and Bailey, they weren't a team. So you're just like, oh, okay, cool. What now? Well, Liv and Raquel weren't doing anything with the titles, but you still understood why they were a team. But like I said, again, it's one of those things we'll just have to see what they do and how this plays out in the future.
It's funny because in the graphic that I have up on the screen for the match, until like 2 minutes ago, and I have a small picture of it. It's not like a big full screen thing. It's a smaller picture. I'm like, why is it a picture of Lyra, Bailey, Liv, and Becky? But I realize that's Raquel in that picture. It looks like Becky so hard in that picture because her hair looks orangish and his face is very similar. But yeah, this match was like I said, like it's good seeing Becky. Like I said, we don't need her really, but it's good seeing her. Lyra looked amazing. Like she's starting to grow on me. I thought she was like very odd looking. She's like a very pretty version of Bailey because Bailey's pretty odd looking as well. But she's like a prettier Bailey, and she looked really good last night. Or yeah, was it last night? Yeah, last night she looked really good. Liv is always great, hometown girl for me, so I'll always support her. But seeing them win, Bailey and Becky and Lyra's early. We have a lot of 2-belt champions now, I guess. That's kind of weird to see as well. But I guess will Bailey relinquish the championship will Becky relinquish the championship to Bailey? Maybe Lyra will, so she won't have 2 championships. I don't know. It might be Becky and Bailey as a tag team. Who knows? But I guess we'll have to see how it turns out. But the match was good. It wasn't like a pee break match. Now, more like Logan Paul and AJ was a pee break match. Well, what'd you think?
I thought it was a good tag team match. I think Lyra had one of my favorite attires for the night. For the night with the Raven wings and white and gold. I think they blended well. Well, I thought the match was relatively okay. Like everyone else, I knew as soon as Bailey was announced as taken out on Saturday afternoon in their Saturday pre-show. I was like, yeah, well, here goes Becky returning tomorrow to team with Lyra.
Yeah.
Lyra, I agreed with that with everyone completely.
Welcome, Miro.
But
Welcome, Miro. I don't know what you mean by your statement, but welcome. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
But I think the match was relatively alright, all good. I knew Lynch and Lyra were winning as soon as Lynch was announced as the partner, because there's no way Lynch is losing in her return. So I knew what the match's outcome was gonna be, but it was still a good match, even though I knew what was coming.
Okay, that brings us to the final match of the evening in WrestleMania. The WWE Championship match featuring WWE Champion Cody Rhodes against John Cena in his final WrestleMania appearance. I believe this is Will's match.
This is my match, and it started off very slow paced. But before that, we had a John Cena's entrance, which was the dullest John Cena entrance of all time. It's just him walking down to the ring with a black screen that just says his name in white font. He stripped everything away from us. As for this heel run, it's working. His heel work is incredibly well. I enjoyed it. It was his heel work the entire match. He was keeping it slow. He was somewhat keeping the offense slow paced, and he did a couple things like a couple kicks and a couple clotheslines that we don't see him do much, but he was keeping it at a slow, boring pace, in my opinion, in a way to disrespect the fans. But Cody Rhodes didn't really get out of the woodwork. He wasn't. I don't think he was prepared for that storm with John Cena at the start of the match. John Cena got a lot of early offense in, and I can't remember really Cody Rhodes doing much in the match actually. Like I know he did. I know he tried to pick up the pace by doing some Cody cutters, the disaster kick, but John Cena would just bring it back to that slow, sluggish pace that may have thrown Cody Rhodes off his game. But at the same time, John Cena would hit AA after AA after AA, and Cody Rhodes would keep coming back. John Cena even hit an attitude adjustment from the top rope, his avalanche attitude adjustment, and Cody Rhodes kicked out of that. Cody Rhodes, I think, only got 2 crossroads in the entire match on John Cena, and it wasn't, both of them didn't come until towards the end. But like we get a ref bump from Cody Rhodes finally getting out of the STF hold after Cena attempts it the 3rd time. Cody would kick Cena into the referee, taking the ref out, and that's when Cody Rhodes hits the first crossroads, and then we get what would have been a 1-2-3 count if the referee wasn't down. So Cody Rhodes gets up to check on the referee. Meanwhile, Cena crawls to the turnbuckle, removes the turnbuckle cover, and exposes the turnbuckle. So Cody goes back out to Cena. Cena lures Cody into, I love how I said Punk, Cody into the corner, and hits Cody's face off the turnbuckle twice, and then hits an AA, and Cody Rhodes still kicks out. So it's as we were saying, Cal was saying earlier, it's like kicking out of finishers. It being used. It always seems to be used excessively at WrestleMania, in my opinion. But it was after that final kick out that Travis Scott's music hit. Yeah, and Travis Scott, if we thought John Cena was taking this match slow, Travis Scott was so slow walking down this ramp. Like I admit this match, I was starting to fall asleep at this point in the match because of how slow it was going. But Travis Scott gets to the ring, distracts Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes counters John Cena's attempt of attack to get his second and final crossroads in on Cena for the match. But as he's going for the cover, Travis Scott pulls the ref out of the ring. Cody Rhodes gets distracted by Travis Scott, gets Travis Scott in the ring, and Travis Scott tried to slap Cody. Cody blocks it and then hits a crossroads on Travis Scott, which did not look too good in my opinion. I don't think Travis Scott sold it well. Well, while all this was happening, John Cena was getting the championship belt from out of the ring and bringing it in. So Cena goes to hit Cody with the belt. Cody stops him and takes the belt out of Cena's hand. Cena's going, "No, stop, no, please!" As Cody Rhodes getting ready to hit Cena with the belt. Cody doesn't take the shot of hitting Cena with the belt, so Cena low blows Cody. Then proceeds to hit Cody with the belt, and then hit another attitude adjustment and finally get a 1-2-3 victory. I was expecting Cody Rhodes to kick out at that point, and then The Rock come out, and then we get Cody Rhodes screwed over by The Rock, and Cena still wins the match. But we get Cena getting his victory, getting his 17th World Championship, and to close out the night, and no Rock. I feel like this was a disappointing main event. Like it was an okay match. It was not a WrestleMania main event worthy match. As Cal said earlier, I would have put the Roman Seth and Punk night 1 main event here on night 2. Move the women's triple threat to the night 1 main event. Have Charlotte and Tiffy start night 2, and then have Cody Rhodes and John Cena go before the women's triple threat on night 1. That's how after watching all these matches, that's how I would have laid it out if this is how they were going to set it up. Because the main event, it was good. It was not great. But I get the story of why it was this slow, methodical pace that Cena was going for, because it's his heel work and he doesn't want the fans to be happy. But I think Cal wants to say a lot, so I'm going to pass this off to him.
Not much. I just thought it was one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. Main events, I should say. I didn't like the pace of the match. It just felt like a very awkward match. It didn't feel like a legit match. And the whole Travis Scott thing was weird. Like he said, he took forever to come down to the ring. I do disagree with you saying, like, when he said he hit the first crossroads and you got the 1-2-3 count. We don't know that. He could have kicked out because apparently everyone kicks out of every finisher. And, you know, wrestlers have that instinctive thing when they hear the referee's cadence, they tend to kick out of things as opposed to, especially, and you know what I feel about audiences counting. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the time they count to 7 is a natural 3 count of the real referee. So you never know if he would have kicked out, since like I said, everyone's been kicking out of every finisher lately. And it was only the first Crossroads. It took like 3 of them to do to Roman, and Cena's supposed to be like Super Cena, you know. So I don't think he would have lost that match there. The second one maybe, but I don't know about the first. Yeah, and the whole Travis Scott thing was weird. I was really looking forward to The Rock. But I guess, you know, as much as I don't like Dave Meltzer, he reported like in November maybe or January that The Rock wouldn't be at WrestleMania, and The Rock said, "Don't believe everything you read in the dirt sheets." And then everyone gave Dave Meltzer shit for that. Well, looks like he ended up being right. So I wonder if they'll actually give Dave. I don't like giving Dave Meltzer credit. I don't like Dave Meltzer and all that, but I wonder if they're actually gonna apologize to Dave Meltzer for this because he was actually right about it, or say that he was right. Because I was sad that The Rock didn't show up, because as you guys know how much I love The Rock. That would have been a good thing. Maybe they're saving it for next WrestleMania. When, I don't know, but this is, you know, I think he was available. So I don't know what's going on, what they're doing. But I'm gonna give it. You know, like I said, I'm gonna give it time because you never know. Like after such a good elimination chamber, I thought we'd have a good main event, and I can understand why they made the main event prior to seeing the match. Obviously, I think everyone would agree if you're just given the card without where matches were being placed, I think everyone, including you two and everyone in the chat, would agree that this was be the final match of WrestleMania. I think if they just saw the names on the card and all that, I think everyone would agree this would be the final match of WrestleMania. But it did not live up to being the final match, and it was just an awkward. Even when it ended and the celebration afterwards, it was very muted and weird. And if you watch the press conference after, which I didn't, but I saw the highlights on Twitter, his answer was the same. Oh, this is a very quick clickbait question, and you should do better, or whatever. Or I'm not going to fall into the trap. Whatever he said over and over. I thought I would like John Cena as heel. I think the only time I liked John Cena as heel was when he first turned heel in that Elimination Chamber match, and then the one promo he did last week, or was it this week on Raw? Last week on Raw. The last promo he did against, or was it SmackDown? Whatever it was. The last promo he had, or the last 2 promos that he had, were really good. Other than that, I don't think he was very good on the mic either. I think they might be holding him back, and he finally got the last 2. He finally got to speak his mind. But for the longest time I did not want to. I don't like I said, I don't like Ric Flair. But I did not like Cena more. I think because I didn't want to see Cena break Ric Flair's record. But now that he did it, I'm like, I'm fine with it. Like I'm glad for what he did for the business. But I thought I'd be more happy seeing Cena as a heel and as a champion, especially because I don't like Cody Rhodes. So I just didn't have. Like, I kind of went like, yeah, when he won, but I wasn't like I don't think I would be as happy as you guys were last year when Cody finally beat Roman, kind of thing.
Cody won.
Like I don't think I had that same ecstasy as you guys would have when that happened. So I'm still, maybe I'm a mirror reflection of John Cena then, because he wants to be very muted and toned down, and like I think he spoke volumes with his entrance, coming out with nothing except for his theme song, everything being like, you know, muted except for his theme song. You know, no theatrics, nothing. He didn't even do the bounce off the rope in that thing. He didn't even do that. He just, everything was boom. And that's how I kind of feel. So maybe that's what they want, and they're getting what they want, for me at least. But so I'm just going to give it time to see what happens before I can say how I feel about his time. I think by SummerSlam, I will have a good opinion about his little run as a heel, and come back to me at SummerSlam and see how I feel about it. But I did not enjoy this match, and wasn't as happy as I thought I would be when Cena won. But thank God Cody's not champion anymore, because he was terrible champion. Now I got to deal with Jey Uso. It's basically Cody on Raw now. Same shit. Sucks. Get him away too. All right, Alicia.
I do echo that this match wasn't up to what we thought it would be, and I don't know if this is like the producer or whoever like produced this match fault, or maybe John and Cody don't have the chemistry that. Is that how you feel? Or maybe them two don't have the chemistry that we thought, or I'm not sure what, but it was very subpar. And I love Cody and I love John Cena as well. I do agree that parts of this heelness hasn't been working, but again, that's because he hasn't really been doing anything. But I guess it's also on purpose that he wasn't doing anything. So again, this was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in limbo on this whole situation. The only thing I'm not in limbo on is Travis Scott. I still don't know why he is here. They haven't explained it whatsoever on screen, like on Raw or what have you. Um, Even I know that he has like I think he has like the Cactus Jack collaboration or whatever, and I think he said there was Fortnite something he did before. I don't know, but in in the terms of wrestling, of why he aligned himself with The Rock and why he aligned himself and by proxy John Cena, we don't know because they haven't told us. And like you said, yeah, it was very slow pitch coming down to the ring, and as I guess to distract Cody, it was just weird and left a bad taste in my mouth. And whatever this partnership he has with WWE, as far as its in-ring talent or on-screen talent, I should say, it's not going over well with the fans. So I think they need to either nix it or regroup and do something else. Yeah, The Rock not showing up. I don't know. It's like, yeah, it feels like that doesn't also make sense because he is also part of the story of why John Cena is healed and aligning himself with The Rock, so that he can, to get this championship. So I don't understand why he wasn't there. It made more sense for it to be him to interfere for Cody than Travis Scott, definitely. But like you, Cal, I am willing, as always, I am willing to see this through and see what they do. I do think it was fine for Cody to lose. He didn't need a long range. His story was his feud between Roman at the time, and so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even mind if he gets beaten down again either this week or next week, and we see him off screen just for a little bit. Let him let him get that vacation he probably deserves. He's been going hard as champion, doing the whole what I call the politician thing of kissing babies and shaking hands and all that stuff. So I think he deserves a little bit of break and let Cena just run roughshod over Raw as a heel and the champion, and let us see a full on John Cena. Well, I guess he was a heel as a Dr. Thug Anonymous, but this is a different heel Cena. So let us see it. Let us see him, and let him go against some of the newer people who are on Raw that weren't there when he was before, and let's truly send him off on his way in good fashion.
And Entertain said Cena reminds him of a new line in Japan he was able to get over with no moves or gimmick. Yeah, I guess.
Say that again?
Entertain wrote in the chat. Cena reminds him of a new line in Japan he was able to get over with no gimmick or moves. I don't know much about the Japanese wrestling, but yeah, I can see that. What you're saying is true. Yeah, so that was WrestleMania 41. With that, we'll roll into our finishers. So I guess the way we'll do this is your low point, your high point of each night, and then your overall grade just for the entire WrestleMania as a whole. So we'll start with Will first.
All right, so my low point for night one is gonna be the New Day versus War Raiders tag team match because I found that match a little bit boring, and I feel like the wrong tag division got kept off of WrestleMania. Because I feel like the SmackDown tag division has been better than the Raw tag division, and SmackDown has a better tag division matchup set for Mania week because Raw and SmackDown after Mania are big events. So it's like I feel like that should have been here instead of what we got. And my high point for night one, I would have to say, was the probably the main event triple threat match and the Paul Heyman betrayal on both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and the fact that Paul is aligning with Seth Rollins. I think that's gonna be quite interesting to see going forward. And as you said earlier, Cal, I would actually like to see Seth Rollins start shredding through the bloodline for himself and Paul Heyman at the same time. I do think that's actually a good idea and something that could go on. Do you want me to continue to night two?
Yeah, just do it all through.
All right. So night not talking to you. Night 2, low point, I would say, is the Logan Paul AJ Styles match, because I was expecting more out of that than what we got. I felt I was highly disappointed with that match. My high point for night 2 is going to be the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship match. That was my favorite match on the card. I loved the high impact velocity and movements of the match. That match surpassed my expectation for it. And I would say my overall grade for WrestleMania as a whole, I'll give it a B plus.
All right, Delisha, low point, high point of each night, and then your overall grade. For the
Yeah,
entire-
low point for me for night 1. I would kind of agree that it was that men's tag match, because as you can see, I couldn't recall a darn thing about that match when I was trying to recap it, besides the winning team. And that should speak volumes. High point, I am going to also give it to the main event, but specifically for the Heyman of it all. He's probably been the MVP of storytelling the last 4 years. Well, I guess for the last, if you want to go into writing, like 15, 20 years, but it's particularly in the height of this bloodline stuff. And night 2, I'm giving the low point. Again, I guess to agree, Will giving low point to Logan and AJ, because I didn't really have an interest in that match, and they didn't do anything in that match to keep me interested. And then the high point I'm going to give to the women's triple threat. I think it was a great way to open up that show. They also could have closed the show as well, either night, but they did they set the pace greatly for the rest of the night. Overall, I think I'm giving the if we combine both nights, I'm probably gonna give it that C plus B minus range, where there was a lot of the matches that I liked. There were some, but how some of those matches progressed, I did not like, as we discussed throughout this podcast. But overall, I did enjoy myself for the majority of the night, which is why I gave that C plus B minus range.
For me, the low point of night 1 was Jey Uso winning. The high point was the triple threat at the end of the night. For night 2, the low point was the main event. I thought it was very poorly done. Even though John Cena won, it was poorly done. And the high point was the women's triple threat match, because that was fantastic. I thought it was the best match of all of WrestleMania. As for my overall grade, the way I see it is night 1 had all bad matches except for the main event, and night 2 had all good matches except for the main event. So it kind of evens itself out. So we had one whole night of all good matches and one night of all bad matches. So I'm gonna have to give it a C, because it's average. That means it cancels it out. Average, because I don't think it was very well done. But that was WrestleMania 41, thus ending the season of AfterMat for us. But we're not done yet, because we have a few packed nights coming up soon. But before we get to that, let's get to Will. Thank you for joining us tonight. And what can you tell us about what's going on with you and your channel or whatever?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I normally stream on YouTube and Twitch. Currently, I'm on hiatus because I have to get a new PC. Haven't really been able to scrounge up the money for it myself. However, I do have a little bit of a project I'm coming out with a artist friend of mine for some origin story for a character of a story I'm writing. The comic is in progress. It's going to be a five-page comic series based on the Hell of a Boss universe. So if you're interested on that, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to get any information on that. But thank you for having me here, Cal. It is much appreciated.
And your socials are in the description below, so make sure you check them out there. And Alicia, what about you?
Yes, you can find me at Delisha Renee TV on Instagram and YouTube, although there hasn't been any activity for that for a few months, basically since I had my second child. But yeah, but much like Will, also my laptop also took a dive off into the deep end. So my editing software that was on there is lost for now. But also life is lifing right now. I'm also getting over being sick, so it's just like nothing is going the way I planned so far this year. So I have been hoping to get back into content creating, but that's not been happening. So we shall see. We'll see by the time we do our next podcast. For I guess probably by the next PLE, I should say recap, I will be able to know more about my constant situation. But you can always find me here recapping the PLEs with Cal and Will when he joins us. That's right now my biggest constant right now.
Yeah, as I said, you're gonna see us a bunch. As you know, this is the season 8 finale, but when we end the seasons, we always have a special. So we'll be having the AfterMat Awards next week. It's coming up soon because it is kind of chock full PLE soon for WWE. So we're gonna have the AfterMat Awards next week. Will be joining us again for that. And we're going through the same awards. Maybe have another special guest, which you guys should know by now if you are a constant watcher of our channel. But until then, after that, we'll be covering the next PLE we'll be covering is Backlash, which is I think like 2 weeks from tonight or whatever it is, or 2 weeks from next Saturday coming up. So we'll have the AfterMat Awards next week. We'll have 1 week off, and then you'll see us for Backlash the week after that. So until then, make sure you guys know that you guys are all idiots, and the final boss is always right. Until next time, see you guys later.
A Backlash is May 10th, by the way. You have a good night.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.